All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Across Your Bow podcast, episode number 13. I'm, of course, your host, sirvenomik. What's up, everybody? With me today, my man, Khreegor. What's up, big guy? How you doing today, man?
Man, just getting off work, looking ready to have a relaxing, fun rest of the evening, chatting with you, chatting with the folks.
Absolutely. Hey, so what you been working on this past couple of weeks, man?
Just getting ready for a whole lot of stuff for wrapping up the end of the year, holiday stuff, family, finishing up some ship grinds. We just closed out a couple more tier 10s over the last month.
Nice.
Busy next rest of this week. Just Christmas event things I've been asked to come pop on for and doing my own.
Right on. I know this week I've been doing my 10K a day in the Jutland. You know, that's the last line that I have to finish out. So I've come up with this little thing that if there's boats out there that you struggle with, or you just really want to enjoy your grind on a line, just do 10K a day. And if you flag it up, that's one game. You know, flag it up one game, maybe two if you don't have a very good game, and then you can go play whatever else you want to. That especially helps people who grinding boats out like the Freddy the Groper that nobody really cares for, but it's getting a buff. So who knows how it's going to go, which we'll talk about here coming up in this actual news section that we got coming on. So, all right, speaking of that, let's segue right into the news. Yeah, Freddy the Groper's getting that buff. It's happening tomorrow. The patch 7.12 hits tomorrow. It'll go down about 4 o'clock in the morning my time, and it won't come up till about 7 o'clock in the morning my time, which is U.S. Central Time for any of you beautiful people out there. Freddy the Groper, don't care. I'm way past it. I've already gone through it, got to the GK, didn't like it, sold them all. So. What are your thoughts on the GK's buff? It's getting a below 30 seconds 16-inch gun buff, and then I believe it's 29 seconds for the big guns, the 420s.
You know, it needs something. I am very much not a fan of the German battleship line. I think for two big reasons. One, I think people seriously play them wrong. And I've just watched that for so long, it's put a bad taste in my mouth for them. And two, when your entire line, the excuse people give for a bad game is, German dispersion. And that becomes a running gimmick, is that this boat's going to just have complete shit dispersion.
I don't even think that it's German dispersion. I think it's in anything that has relatively decent secondaries. They have to nut something else off or chop something else off to make it competitive. And that, for the Germans, is the dispersion. You start seeing it at Tier 7 with the Gneisenau. It's so terrible. And then the Bismarck doesn't get any better, but the secondaries get better, and so people still think that it's a good boat when it really isn't. And then 9 is just atrocious. And then 10 is 10. GK can be effective, and I think it has better accuracy because it has 4 extra guns on it that the Freddy the Groper doesn't have. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Selling randoms for sure, because their secondaries can just spray and pray all over the place to get some damage numbers up for them. Overall, I think that line needs to be looked at, because secondaries can only carry a ship line so far before that gimmick just runs out. When you get, destroyers smart enough to now try to avoid being spotted so secondaries can't touch them. Your smarter Shimakaze, Daring, Haragumo players and everything. You can just avoid the secondary gimmick. Your cruisers that are smart enough not to overextend from behind an island. So, island armor, best armor, so they're not going to get those secondaries chewing into them. Your Zhaos, your Hindenburgs, and your Alries aren't going to come within that 12-kilometer range because they don't have to. So you the boat gets gutted unless that person's just forced to YOLO charge, which we all know how that's going to end up as soon as that Gefurst ends up, in the first 5 minutes of the game running into the cap so he can get within range to do something.
Right.
I think it needs the buff for sure. I think if we can put shells down range faster, it's going to help it. But I don't know. I think if they adjust the Sigma a little bit, but you'd have to adjust it down in the secondaries, because that's going to be a hard thing to balance. Because if you give them solid accuracy and the great secondaries they have,
well, this is something
with its armor.
This is something that I've done with the Republic is 12 point whatever kilometer secondary range is ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
it's outrageously it's very far and it's very good on the Republic, but I have taken to just I hate missing my shots. I like battleships that are consistent, and I like boats that are consistent. So Montana is still my all-time favorite boat in the game for battleships, especially at Tier 10. I still think it's hands down the best battleship in the game because it's versatile and it's consistent with its shots. So what I've done is I've taken off the secondary mod on the Republic and have gone to the accuracy mod, but still keep the AFT and still have 10.6 kilometer secondaries. And I've actually seen a big improvement in the overall damage and overall smashing of the Republic shells, although it is 16 inches or 18-inch guns almost, and they have stupid pin. I've seen a lot more consistency out of using it that way than using it as a secondary main type of boat. So I will revisit the Germans. That's right, guys. I'm going to go buy the German battleships again, and I'm going to take off the secondary range mods on it and go put accuracy on to see if it makes a difference. Now, in the past, the accuracy mod didn't really make a difference on the Bismarck, so I'm probably going to go ahead and skip that one and go into the Freddy de Groot, and then move it into the GK, as that is a fantastic. It's a decent boat. A lot of people sleep on it, and they focus on that one whole line. But if you put AA, if you set that boat up for AA, the Freddy is fantastic AA boat, and you'll be surprised. You'd be surprised at what you could get away with in the AA section of that. So.
Oh yeah, one of my mods, his favorite thing to do is his Scharnhorst, his Tirpitz, and his Gneisenau. He did a full-blown AA build on those things, and it is hilarious watching CVs go, look, it's a lone German battleship, and then they never even get a chance to try and drop torpedoes in the water because he's
you
gone.
bait them in. You bait them in to it. Yeah, absolutely.
You would think he mounted Sea-Wiz on all over his damn boat with how badly he just mulches. This is a destroyer. He mulches the stuff coming in. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy at the effect of it. All right, moving on from that, because we could talk about German battleships and how terrible they are for the next 2 hours. Okay, season. I'm sorry, not season, but the next update comes out tonight, as we said, and most of these changes are going to be taking place tonight with the two new campaigns, the Mighty Prince campaign, the Belle Epoch campaign. You guys could go look that information up, or you guys could check out the previous podcast because we've talked about those before. Prince Idol of Frederick is on its way out. It's a Tier 6 battleship, German. It's going to be relatively close to the Baron. Baron is okay. This is where you start seeing a little bit of the wonkiness at Tier 6. So hopefully it's a little bit more accurate than the Baron is. But for the most part, the Baron is a pretty solid ship at Tier 6. The new World of Warships premium account will come out. What are your thoughts on the premium account?
I love it. I got to say, I was really disappointed seeing the premium have to be taken out of the Christmas crates. Because why buy, anything for tanks or the other ones when I can just get a ton of premium for this one? So the fact they introduced that means we should be getting it back. I would have liked to see maybe a smaller bump in the experience, and I know that may cause some pitchforks and torches out there for some folks, but I think it'll allow some people to blow through the lines
too quick,
faster than they're learning how to properly play that style of boat.
Right.
And then we're going to end up with people that should not be in a Daring yet or in a Republic yet.
And
we do because of the campaigns,
right.
Yeah. But you're going to get a lot more people, I think, with the update, but at the same time, I like that Boats is starting to split themselves a little bit more from the other games and be like, you know what, you guys do your thing,
we're gonna do ours.
We're gonna do ours.
I think it only can help. Like I've said this on previous casts. Everybody knows this, but I think that it can only help World of Warships. Saying that we have this many players buying only World of Warships accounts, we can reward these players based on that. Maybe they don't have to go to the company to say, hey, we want to do a Let's Battle Tour, or the Let's Battle Tour, or another Anchors Away somewhere, and they can be like, okay, cool. You have this much following in the United States. Let's do something for these 20 or 30,000 people that actually buy the premium time. So it can only help. It cannot hurt World of Warships at all. I personally don't play tanks or any of the others, so this is godsend for me. I'm gonna get more experience. I'm gonna get more credits. I'm gonna get more of these bonuses just for having this thing. Plus, everybody's gonna get a little bit anyway. If you have any premium time right now, you will get that benefit of the World of Warships premium account courtesy right now, including everything else until that time rolls off. Once that time rolls off, then you can re-up on World of Warships or the overall premium account. That's up to you guys. So some of those people out there, like I know a guy just got 700 days of premium time. That's all World of Warships premium time for him. So
yeah, I'm sitting on 436 days of premium time.
It's a long way. So you're gonna get a little bit of experience boost. You're gonna get a little bit of credit boost, commander experience boost, and so on. Having the World of Warships premium only account, it's not very much, but it is different.
It's 15% more. So instead of a 50-50 like you have right now, experience is going to go to 65, and credits will stick at the 50.
Right. So there you go. Premium account, go get some. Guys, we're hanging out with my man Khreegor here. You guys can follow him over on his Twitch channel. He's another Twitch streamer. Twitch.tv/Khreegor. And you guys can also hit him up on the Twitters there at _Khreegor. You guys can see it on the screen. We'll have, of course, if you guys over on YouTube, we'll have links to his channels and his Twitch account in the description below. All the information is right here, guys. I'm going to copy paste that into the Twitch chat right now, and then I will also have this link in the description below for you YouTubers as well. So the next one, Rank Sprint coming back. Tier 6 this time. Pretty stoked for it.
Yeah.
Anything at Tier 6 is viable. I mean, everything at Tier 6 is viable to play battleship-wise, cruiser-wise. I mean, the battleships and cruisers are a little bit more equal, and the destroyers are all pretty much on the same playing field, as opposed to Tier 7, where the cruisers are way heavy and the battleships at 7 aren't that great. And the destroyers struggle because the battleships aren't that great. Tier 6 is good. Tier 5, before we go into Tier 6, what'd you think of the last Tier 5 rank sprints, man?
Oh, man. First off, I love the rank sprints in general. Probably my biggest frustration. I'm really competitive. I get hyper competitive. So I've had a hard time even trying to rank out in the seasons, because once I get down to like 4 and 5 and dealing with just the crazy salt levels in the other one, I'm just like, I gotta walk away or I'm never gonna play the game again.
Right.
So rank sprints, the fact that I don't deal with that, I still got my competitiveness. I'm getting, when the boats are a lot more balanced, there's a lot less shtick to the ships that I'm having to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, in my opinion, one of the best ideas they came up with in 2018 for the game. I think they're great.
I like it.
I'm loving it.
I like it. If they reward it better, I think a lot of people are playing it. So I really can't really say that. But my opinion is that the rewards really weren't that great for it. So there wasn't much for me to want to grind out. So I did do the first rank sprint, and then I missed out on the second one because of TwitchCon and the whole family issues past that. So I missed out on the second one. But definitely Tier 6 is one of my favorite tiers because of the balance between the ships. So I'll be pretty stoked. I'll be pretty stoked to do it. So top ships, give me a battleship, cruiser, destroyer.
Oh, for Tier 6?
For Tier 6, yeah.
Oh Lord, let me pull up the tier list real quick here.
I'll give you mine then. So my top destroyer, I've got 2 of these. I love the Hachiharu because of the detection range, 5.8 kilometers. That's the one I ranked out on in when it was pure Tier 6 rank season. Also, T61 is going to be stupid strong. A lot of people are gonna tell you, you got to play the Fubuki or the Shiranome because the torpedo DPM is better because you get 3 sets instead of 2 sets, but the detection offsets that a little bit, in my opinion. Also, the Sirvenomik guns are ridiculously good. You're going to see some Monahans. You're going to see everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the 2 that I'm going to be focused on is the T61 and the Hatsuharu. Cruiser-wise, Tier 6 cruisers, Perth and Wang Hae, you'll probably see some of those. I know Keskin ranked out in the Perth 79 games during that ranked season, which was phenomenal ranked season for him. As for battleships, any battleship will work. Any battleship will work.
Yeah, I think the Perth is definitely going to be a strong one. You'll be able to tell who got the Perth out of their Christmas crates and who actually knows how to properly use a rolling smoke. That's going to be huge, and that's going to be hilarious to watch, in my opinion. I think the Hatsuharu is going to be a good one. I don't think Fubuki's going to be all that in a bag of chips like a lot of people think. One, I'm curious to see if people bring it out, because I've seen people do just dirty things in it, and I've seen them get smashed. For battleships, though, is a Mutsu. I think it could be
Mutsu's
an interesting
got
option.
pretty big guns for the tier. When I played that first season, I would go back and forth Hatsuharu to the Arizona. Arizona was mine because of the accuracy. For some reason, I like that one. It's all on what can you spot and what you can get your guys to shoot at when you spot it. That's basically this entire season. Both of the ranked sprints. It'll be, I believe it says 6v6, 7v7. It's 5 on 5 and 7 versus 7. So there you go. You got something to look forward to there. This will also be 10 ranks split across 2 leagues. You got 10 through 6 and then 5 through 1. And then they'll be rewarded accordingly. I'm assuming it's going to be more coal. Excited to see another rank sprint season that I could actually take part of.
The 2 cruisers I'm expecting to see in there, and I'm expecting to see do dirty things, and some people may facepalm when they hear me say these. One of them is going to be the Pensacola. The fact she got down tiered to 6. Mm-hmm. But her guns are still guns, man. Yeah, those guns did not change. Is going to make that a dirty bird. Anybody that ground through that Pensacola before she got her buffs back in the day, and then before she got down tiered, if they could pick her up as good as they did before, she is going to put a serious hurt on people. And the Grafspe has been making a resurgence. You've got a cruiser that can pen battleships. It's got 10k torps.
8k.
8k, sorry. 8k torps that are fast as shit.
It's got ridiculous angles.
Crazy angles on it, yeah. And guns that will nose Citadel other cruisers like they're not even there, because they're essentially just baby battleship guns on her.
Mm-hmm. They're the Scharnhorst guns.
Yeah, those are my 2 cruisers. I can't wait to see what they do.
Sleepers?
Very
got
much.
Sleepers? I got one sleeper for you.
Which one?
The Oba. With the buff that they got, having 203s at tier 6, cruiser wise, that AP is ridiculously good, man. Ridiculously good. So don't sleep on that one. I remember Klatsberg. He ranked out like 5 or 6 different accounts during that tier 6 rank season, one on each cruiser, and he said the hardest one that he had to do was the Aoba, just because he couldn't hit anything. So with this accuracy buff that the tier 5 and above got, it's gonna be a pretty nice little thing if he can get the broadside of any target. Your AP is gonna rip through any other cruiser that's out there.
Yeah, the Aoba, she's going to be a dirty one. You know, the other one that I think people always forget about until they have to come back and face them, the Leander.
Leander's good. Let's put it this way. Everything at Tier 6 is viable. Bajoni's still probably one of the strongest because of the super range. I think it outranges everything at Tier 6 with its plane. It's so good, guys. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that we're saying, go ahead and type them into the chat, and I will copy pasta them over, and we will address those toward the end of the show.
Battleships, I don't. They're all pretty solid options. I think at that one. I think Fuso, a smart Fuso captain, can turn it out really well. Um, I don't think we're going to see a lot of Bayerns. The other one I think I'm expecting to see a lot of is the Queen Elizabeth, because she's a good, strong ship for her tier. Her HE, she's not afraid to fire it to have to overcome the whole nerf to AP to destroyer thing and still be a fierce competitor in there. And then, I'd say Queen Elizabeth and Fuso are my two go-tos when it comes to battleships. And I love the Icarus. I know people think I'm nuts. I love for the destroyers. I want to see the Icarus in there. And
Icarus
the
isn't a bad
Hatsuharu.
choice. Yeah, Icarus is not a bad choice at all.
The Icarus can outfight the Farragut because of its gun speeds. Those single fire torps will let her, give the old sneaky torpedo in gaps that battleships are not used to having to watch. I don't know how many times I've shaved an island where they cut in tight thinking, okay, it's a destroyer, I'll eat one torpedo, and it's like, no, I lined them up perfectly. You're going to eat the entire rack.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always a good time there.
Yeah, so I'd say my go-to destroyers for this rank sprint, definitely the Icarus and the Hatsuharu would be my two go-to.
There you go. All right, so there you go. Rank sprint, just a little bit of comment on that. Daily shipments coming out. You're going to get between December the 25th and January the 8th, you will get New York themed shipments consisting of credits, premium time, warships premium time accounts, camos, and I think there's some boxes in there as well. Whatever. No really need to comment on that. Okinawa's finally going to get that change pushed through to where the island comes from A down into the middle of B, and they kind of shift those islands at B down toward Charlie, which I think is great because that map is not a very liked map, I think, throughout the community, and it definitely needed a change. It also needed a little bit more versatility in gameplay, because right now it's everybody just kind of balls up down there in between B and C, and until somebody gets a lucky shot on somebody, there's really not much going on that map. So this might open up a second avenue now to making A actually viable.
Oh yeah. If you guys haven't gone and actually looked at the patch notes, it's got the little slide bar so you can see the difference between it. It's going to be huge because right now nobody wants to go up to the northern cap. I mean, battleships don't want to get in there because once you're in there, you can't get out of there. The destroyers, they don't want to go down south because it's just complete open water. Once they get spotted, they can't move. They're not going to get a cruiser support down there. This new island layout, I think, is going to make this map climb quickly for a lot of folks to a favorite map because it's not oversaturated with islands, but there's some at every cap to give every boat an option to play that cap and play it effectively.
Agreed. There is a way that you can play the islands at A currently in the current iteration, but the thing is if you push into there, you have to push out of there quickly. You cannot get stuck behind there. If you do, then you're stuck shooting at one or two boats, which is okay, I guess. But in the long run, you're just gonna get whittled down and burned down, and you're gonna be pooped on, and you're gonna get flamed from your team. All right, so service record. New information about service record. From update 7.12, your progress in the service record will be based on the number of battles played rather than the amount of experience earned. Rewards granted for reaching each level remain the same. This will help make service record progression easier to pick up for novice players. So in the before update, 1 to 2 is 150 experience points, whereas you have to play at least one battle to hit rank 2, 5 for 3, and on down to there's a whole range, and I'll link it, like I said, in the description below for all you guys. So basically, we're going from 12 to 13 is 85 games. You have to play at least 85 games to hit rank 13, and then to hit rank 15, you have to play 200 games before you can get into it. So there it is. Because everybody's like, there should be some kind of limit before these people can play Clan Wars and blah 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 and rank season. You don't need to be here. You've only got 10 games in the blah. You've heard it all. Everybody's heard everything
I'm
about
not a
this.
fan of the change, but yeah, I've heard it.
It doesn't really matter to me, honestly. I really don't care. I've been at 15 for edges anyway. So, for some of the newer players that are coming in, previous to this change tomorrow, they might be struggling. Or some people that have gone away and come back to the game, they're going to be a little behind on their rank season or on their service record ranks. So maybe they. My only question is nope. That it all fits out. My question was going to be this: if we had to, I take it back. All right, so let me rephrase this. Okay, so you need a total of 200 games total played before you hit rank 15, right? So that's from 14 to 15. You need to play 70 games because it's adding everything in from the previous levels into. So if you played one game to hit level 2, then you need 4 to hit level 3, and then 5. So since you got 5 games, it takes 10 games to get to level 4. So you need to play 5 more games to hit level 4, 5, and so on and so on. And then they're basically adding all of them together. So you need 200 total games to hit rank 15 on your account level, and then so you only need to play 70 games in between 14 and 15 to hit the rank, not 200. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I try to make that a little bit more clear for you guys. But to anybody that's already ranked 15, doesn't matter because you're not going to get any change because you're already there. Not a big deal. What do you think? And then that's pretty much all the news we got after this.
I'm not a fan of that change. Just going through right now, I'm grinding up an EU account. I got asked from a lot of the viewers and some of the EU CCs, like TC for them to come play with them. I gotta be like, I have been able to, because I mean, honestly, not a new player, so I play a hell of a lot better than a lot of people. I feel like I'm just being a bully over there right now.
Right.
But I'm flying through the tiers. Like I'm in tier 5. I'll guarantee you, by that system, I might, if I'm lucky, be rank 6 by now. Yeah. Which means now I'm in tier 5s, up tier to get 6s and 7s, and I still can't camo my ship. Which means now as a new guy, I'm getting flamed.
That's a good point. Why don't you have camo on your ship?
Why don't you have flags on? And these people are just going to blast this poor new guy.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Experience, if I have good luck with teams and I'm pulling 2K a win, with what I can have, because you're one of those people like start a new game. Oh, cool. I got my couple days premium that it gave me from achieving these few things. Now all of a sudden I'm getting 2 and 3K a game. I'm advancing flying. All of a sudden I'm on 5s and 6s. I don't have the camos yet because I've had really good luck with wins. Crap. Now I'm getting flamed and getting smashed. In my New Mexico against Massachusetts. Yeah, when they first pitched this idea, I'm like, that's not going to end well. I'm like, I don't know why. It just doesn't seem like it'll be balanced. Now going through the new player experience, hell no.
It's definitely not going to be balanced. That's something I never even thought about. I mean, there's some things that, for players that are creating a second or third account or have an alt account, say a Steam account, this is going to hinder you because it takes, when I was playing through it, it took less than 70 games, and I was, in tier 6, tier 7, playing the Colorado and stuff. Not that camo's really going to affect the Colorado all that much, but it could really have an impact on your DDs. And I'm not sure. I know JC's going through grinding out one line at a time on his second account, and it didn't take him very long to get to tier 10 on one. I think it was less than 200 games, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was stupid quick to get all the way up there. So yeah, if you look at that one, he's already at the tier 10s, or almost tier 10, and he hasn't even hit 15 based on the new standards.
Right.
You can get through some lines silly quickly. Like, I'd have to log in my EU account. I'll guarantee you I probably don't have 30 or 40 games, and I'm already in my tier 5.
Yeah,
for my battleship.
Take long. I know it was like 30 games to get to tier 5, and then like from tier 7 to 8 was only 35 games in the Colorado, rolling real slow. But it doesn't take long to gain those levels based on the amount of games that you actually put in, especially for somebody like us who's played for a long time. All right, so that's pretty much all of the news. So thank you for that. Guys, we're hanging out with my man Khreegor. Now, if you guys don't know who Khreegor is, we're going to get to know my man Khreegor with the 9 questions of averageness. You guys ready for this? Are you ready for 9 questions of averageness, Merrill?
I got my thinking Santa cap on just for these 9 questions.
All right, custom Santa cap. There you go.
Yeah.
First question number 1. How did you find World of Warships?
An old friend of mine kept telling me about it. And when I was over hanging out with him at their place one time, because him and a couple buddies all lived together, it was essentially like the nerdiest bachelor pad you have ever walked into. Like literally any room you walked into, there's dice sitting on a table somewhere. Level of nerdy. And he showed it to me, and I was like, so that's what you want me to play? He goes, yes. I'm like, I'm going to go grab a cheese grater and do naughty things with it before I play that. That looks boring as crap.
Yeah.
Kind of found out later when he got a few other friends playing and taught them how. After I knew what I was doing, I'm like, you're at tier 8. What upgrades did you put on your ship? What do you mean? I'm like, didn't he teach you any of this stuff? They're like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why he can never get me to play.
Where's your upgrades?
Yeah, it wasn't until I actually went to PAX and we ran into Meathead Militia there. And he told Meathead the cracks I made about it. And Meathead's like, well, did you even play it yet? I'm like, no. He goes, you can't talk crap on a game like to that level until you played it. And so just, because I thought he was one of the devs. I didn't realize he's just one of the community people, not to downgrade the community folks. I was like, dude, you're going to call me out? Fine. I went back to the hotel. I installed it. I played 3 rounds. I came back the next day. I told him to kiss my ass because I'm now addicted to a stupid game. And he just laughed and walked off.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I got my start in Warships.
That's not bad at all. All right, so you're also a streamer here on Twitch right there.
Yep.
Twitch.tv/Khreegor. Let's go check him out. What was your biggest motivations to start streaming World of Warships or just streaming in general?
So I originally was trying to stream League of Legends back in the day. So it started going to... all went back to a PAX and seeing other people doing it and thinking, wow, this guy's an asshole. And all these people want to watch him, and he's not that good. And then a buddy of mine that I actually was a moderator for him, Gamer Dad, played in the evenings, watched him, and he's like, dude, just give it a shot. You're playing anyways. You get bored playing by yourself, then you have somebody to talk to. I was like, okay, I can do it. It looks easy enough. Said every streamer when they first started and learned horribly that it's not as easy as it looks.
It's
and so started off, it is, especially when you're doing a game like that where you have to be way more focused, because I support mained and top secondary in League. So for any of you guys that ever played League or watched it, you know what I'm talking about there.
Support was my guy.
Yeah, which probably the 2 hardest roles, because support, you've got to make sure the idiot standing next to you is staying alive when they're doing stupid things, and then top lane, you've got to make sure your mid lane halfway across the map is staying alive when he's doing something stupid or teleport in to try and save him. Horrible machine, could barely run it, looked like garbage. Started playing ships. I was like, you know what? I could probably stream this one. You can run it on a toaster. Figured out I was wrong again. But I'm too pig-headed to give up on it. So I went out and bought this new ridiculously overpowered PC. Took it up and been streaming Warships for coming up on 2 years here soon.
There you go.
Actually, just hit the 2-year mark last month. Now that I'm thinking about dates.
Congratulations, man. I know it. I've been on for 2.5 years. 3 years in June would be how long I've been playing the game. All right, so we've already touched on it a little bit here, but what would you say has been your biggest setback when it comes to streaming or playing ships?
The biggest thing I learned, I have to filter myself. The running joke with all the guys is there's Khreegor on stream and Khreegor off stream. I still act the same. I'm still the same general person, but the words that will fly out of my mouth off stream are completely different. And you have to be... what really bit me in the butt, and I felt bad, is some of my folks that watch, super nice people. I was answering a question for somebody, and the wording I was using sounded like I was just really bashing the crap out of people using rental ships. And it was coming across like they're bad people, when what I was trying to come across is the fact that you don't let these people use camos and other things on them during clan battles is where the problem is. And I also almost lost some really good viewers that were good friends as well, longtime viewers, because they're like, dude, we're those people. Why are you being a dick? And that was my stop and think what's about to come out of your mouth before it comes out, because not everybody's going to be nice enough to come up to you and go, hey, go
Yeah,
listen to that. You sound like a real asshole right now.
yeah, you definitely have to tailor some things. I know over the past 6-8 months, I've had to like really calm down because I used to get pretty nasty with my assessment of other players in the game and assessment of things that were happening in the game and coming to the game and stuff. So it's definitely been a learning experience on how to control verbiage that comes out of your mouth.
Thanks, Volgar. Thank you for that one. He spent a weekend with me, and he's learned I have no verbal. It's true, I don't.
Yeah.
When I see things, it comes out, and if people look at me weird, I'm like, deal with it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna be different.
That's one thing about streaming that I've always found is that I could pretty much say whatever the hell I want to. It's my channel. If people don't like what I'm saying, they're more than welcome to go find somebody else to watch. But anyway, that's enough negativity. Let's go into some positives, man. Let's go into some positives. What has been your biggest break to date in streaming?
God, probably the biggest thing that's really made the channel originally help take off and get the viewers to where now people are like, hey, that guy's got a decent amount of people. He may not be an idiot. Was when my son and wife came down and said, look what we got from the store. Dad, you should try this too. As everybody knows, the Bean Boozled Challenge.
Bean Boozled Challenge.
I did it once while I was streaming. I'm like, okay, dude, I'll try it, but I'm in the middle of a game, but we're streaming right now. And then one of my viewers said, how much to get you to do that again? That was amazing. And I cracked off with, you drop 300 bits, we'll do another one. There went 300 bits. And then another 300.
Yeah.
And then the next day, hey, I got 300 biddies saved up again. You got any beans around? I'm like, what? Crap. And then that just, it took off. It became a shtick. We did it at Anchor's Way, Anaheim. Cammy found out I had beans with me. So I was just going to mess with some of the other CCs. And he talked Radar X and Stasha into letting us actually do it as part of the on-stage part. And even Wargaming went, why are they doing this? Like, you'll see. And they went, oh, this is good. We approve. Like, Sub, Octavia, and Stasha both went, yeah, they're going to eat those. Go for it.
Go for
100%.
it, buddy. Yeah, that's something that I will never do. I mean, like, those things smell so bad. They smell so bad. Like, we had some in the house at one point in time, and my wife was like, what is that smell? She's like, my little girl's like, it's the beans. And then we were like, nope, and she threw them away. So they won't be on my channel at all.
Here you go. Give you an idea. 2 tins of them will sit behind me on the shelf.
Just that's the smell corner, man. Holy crap. So we won't be doing that because we have other things to do. We have other things that other people will not do on my channel.
Wait. You will bikini, but you won't jelly bean.
Yeah, man. My stomach when I eat things is just so sensitive to things, and if it's bad, then that's it. It's into the show because I'm gonna be on the toilet. And you don't want me on the. Oh, I don't want to be on the toilet. I don't care what y'all think, but I don't want to be on the damn toilet.
Well, no, that's just great for everybody out there. It's like it can't be that bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
Right there, this man will wear a bikini for you before you eat one of these beans. Mm-hmm. Zoop, a major in the military, who's probably eaten some nasty things, said the dog food one was the worst thing he has ever stuck in his mouth, and he has eaten some pretty bad things throughout his career in the military. And then you get B-Ted, who ate them like they were candy, no big deal. I'm like, B-Ted, oh my God, stop. You're making me sick.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so let's move on to question number 5, guys. The 9 questions of averageness. What did it mean to you to be accepted into the community contributor program? I know for a I don't want to say a new streamer, but a relatively and I don't mean this to knock you at all, but relatively smaller streamer. What did it mean to you? What did it mean for your channel to be considered by the company somebody that they would like to help or promote? And
that was actually really cool. I had been thinking about putting in when they said they were putting it out there, for people to now apply after Nico had left. And I was like, I'm thinking about it. I initially wasn't going to, and then A couple of the CZs popped in and said, hey, apply. If you get turned down, they can at least tell you what to do. So next time, you know what to focus on. It's going to be a great learning experience. And then Nico popped in and said, hey, you put your app in, right? I said, no, not yet. He goes, then you should stop what you're doing and go put it in, man. Do it. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll put it in. I don't stand a snowball's chance in hell. I know some of the people that are applying that I'm up against. Ain't going to happen. And then I get a message from RadarX going, hey, do you have a minute? I was like, I do in about 20 minutes. I'm at work right now. He's like, okay, ping me in about 20 minutes. So I reached out to him, and he's like, hey, I'm going to send you all the packets you need to sign for your CC thing. I went, what?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I guess you didn't get the other email first. That part wasn't my job. So, hey, welcome to the program. I was like, oh, my. And I'm at work kind of looking back and forth and looking at the Discord on my phone going, huh, alrighty then. Like, oh, by the way, you can't say anything. Well, I got 3 people at work that will pop on and play with me every once in a while, and they walk up like, what's up? I'm like, nothing. Trying to hide my phone.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't tell you anything. Have you heard anything? Nope. No, it was really exciting to get to be brought on, especially with the new way they're doing it, and to be considered, and definitely makes you once you get to see behind the curtain, to see what the Wizards doing behind it. Man, it opens up a whole new level of appreciation for the back half of it. That's for sure. That probably was the bigger shock to me after getting accepted. Being a smaller one. Was getting to see behind the curtain and going, oh my,
all this.
What did I apply for?
it makes you wonder. Now, as everybody knows, I am currently not a community contributor, but that's on the way. We are applying as soon as it comes back up into the deal. But some of this, some things that I have heard, that there's a lot of things that goes into this game, that there's things that are tested that we don't know about, and there's things in the pipeline that we don't know about, but one change leads to another change, leads to another change, and it's this whole big long line of different things that happen. Maybe you don't understand this change now, but you will eventually. So I've retailored my thoughts on my reactionaries to this is stupid, this is dumb change, I don't understand why they're doing this, because maybe there's something else that we don't know. And that's knowing that's out there is gives me a little bit more perspective, because a lot of people are like, these people don't even play their game, yada yada yada, and I'm like, that's all they do is play their game. So
yeah, I can tell you from being in a few Discords, all I ever see is them in the game working on stuff. Yeah, I'd probably say the 2 biggest misconceptions players have that they don't get to see is, 1, super testers are not responsible for the ship that gets released ultimately, because I've talked to a few super testers and went, man, we railed against that change so hard. And CCs do not get to decide the final version of the ships, guys, that you get. So if a ship you were excited for comes out, you're like, that's not as good as it should have been. Why did you do that, Khreegor? I didn't do it. We're there to help with the quality control and give feedback on it. But I promise you guys, we are not the final solution. However, if you want to give feedback on things, reach out to a CC. We can always pass ideas up. But we don't work for Wargaming. We don't get to make those final decisions on it. There's changes that even we disagree with. Go check out any videos, Business 6, Zoop, some Volgar puts out, If we don't like the change, we'll tell you as well. But
all good.
We don't control
videos. It. There's lots of good community contributors out there that have said just flat out, look, I did not while it's going on, but after the fact, they're like, look, I said this. I said that this is wrong, and they left it in there, or it's too strong, it's overpowered, or it's not strong enough. This is going to not work, and they've said that and of course, then I know a couple of super testers that after, say, like the Scharnhorst, when the Scharnhorst came out, they said the reason the Scharnhorst got nerfed was because of us, because we went out there and we overpowered the hell out of this thing. Scharnhorst, before what it is now, was even stronger, and the Scharnhorst is still really damn strong as it is now. So there's a lot of changes out there. But either way, all right, let's move on to question number 6. So now that you're a community contributor, you're a streamer, you run your own podcast, which we'll talk about here in just a second. I'm assuming it's yours. I'm not
Yep.
sure the
Well,
ins and
it's our
outs
groups.
of
We came up with it
groups,
together.
yeah. Right. So what have you done being a community contributor that differs from any of the other community contributors out there? We've already talked about some, Vulgar, the Viking, B6, Notzer, all of these other community contributors. What sets you different? What makes you different from any of the other people?
Play style. I'm a heavy cruiser monkey. Vulgar is big into battleships. Zoop is I mean, most people playing destroyers nowadays learn their destroyers from Zoop. I'd say the new classes, we'll call it. I guess not the new because we've got 2 new ones since I got brought on. But the newer class brought on a lot more primarily cruiser players with myself and like Virtual Senpai. I'd say that's really what sets me apart is when it comes to cruisers and testing the cruisers, that's when I get excited more so than the battleships and the destroyers because those are the ones I know. Those are the ones I've ground all the tiers in, my own and the tiers in the game through it. And I don't care who it is. If you don't like my opinion, deal with it. I still give the feedback on it, which thankfully they're very receptive to feedback, and I'll get a lot of why questions out of them. I'll break it down. Here's why. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't believe in being a yes man, which they've learned quickly in some cases.
Well, there's a lot of community contributors that I've seen that's the way that it seems to me that they're doing is they're yes manning, and it's always nice to know that there's people out there, especially from the not community contributor part of the community, that there's this air of they're just saying it because they have to. And it's always nice for me to know that I know specific community contributors that aren't that, and I know some that are. So there's a lot to do, and that's a lot of mad respect for standing up for what you believe in, man.
Yeah, so I'd say my big thing is the cruiser side of it. Very much. That's where my love is for the boat. We've got a lot of I'm not even gonna try and step up. I could totally be the guy that talks battleship. Hell no. Not going to happen. You got guys like Vulgar in there that are battleship monsters. Mm-hmm. We've got a few others. You got guys that just wreck face in destroyers. I mean, Jash is a beast. You got No Zoop in destroyers. You've got Business in battleships. I mean,
Business in everything. That dude is just
Business in just about everything. So cruisers are my shtick. I mean, theory crafting, Senpai and I'll sit around for like an hour or two some evenings just going back and forth on builds and loadouts for cruisers and, the shift timing on them. And what if we suggested a tweak like this for them for that next patch? What do you think would happen? And so.
Sounds like interesting. So give us, now's the time where you can promote yourself, man. Of course, this whole thing is promoting you as well. But give me some details on your stream and your Twitter so these people can get to know what your schedule, so on and so on.
Yeah, schedule-wise, non-clan battle season, because clan battles always mess up everything. I try and stick to a pretty solid 7 to 10. Sometimes we'll start a little bit earlier if we get the availability. Just depends on family time after work. But I am Sunday through technically Thursday on my own stream. Friday nights I guest star on over with a buddy, Bear Nuts and Bolts, who does all my art, all my graphics and everything. He does it for a lot of the streamers. For a live stream D&D campaign over there. We've got our monthly kind of podcast like you do here. We just, our panel we do called Shooting the Ship, where we bring folks on.
Where'd that come from?
Shooting the Ship?
Like whose idea? I know you guys kind of run it as a panel, but whose initial idea was that?
So the initial idea was the person that got me started in Warship said, hey, what if we all sat down and did, because they were trying to get a YouTube channel going at the time off the ground, defortification, which went great for a while, and then everybody kind of split and went their own ways and did their own thing. And one of the things was, hey, we can talk about ships, do a ship thing. And we're like, how would that really work, man? I can't see that being a weekly one. It's already done from other people. And then it sat around for like 3 months. I'm like, here, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And some of the other guys we played with, just in ships, didn't hang out with us outside of the game. They didn't live here, in the neighborhood essentially. Said, hey, is this ever going to happen? And finally I said, dude, make it happen or I'm going to.
Right.
And he's like, no, we're going to get to it. And I gave it another month because I was part of the defortification crew at the time. And I was like, dude, I'm just taking the reins. We're getting it done. He's like, okay, go for it. And so I grabbed the crew together. I reached out to Highfire. said, hey, do you want to join this? Because at the time it was myself, Baron, Hotel Kilo Actual, and possibly maybe all really small potatoes at the time. Like if I got 5 people at the time, I was excited that night streaming. And so I'd been chatting with High Fire a ton. He's like, dude, I'd love to come on. And he, 40, 50, 60
Yeah.
people. I was like, yeah, that's the guy we need on with us. And we don't have possibly with us anymore. Just work life. He just got married. They just bought a house.
Marriage will take people away from your channels. I know this. I know this firsthand, Mr. Swole.
But it's slowly grown from just a couple of schmucks where we're just streaming what you see on the Skype screen to Baron's done some really great graphics. One of my mods, Edge, did a really nice intro video for us, and now we've gotten people. We've had you on. You were one of our initial guests when we were trying to not look like just a complete clown fiesta. We're like, okay, we think we look decent. Let's get one of the bigger guys. Like, who can we get? And Hyper was like, we can always reach out to Venom. I'm like, do you think he'll do it? He goes, dude, Venom's always up for a good time. I'm like, I'll message him. And you're like, yeah, dude, let's do it. I was like, holy shit, Venom said yes.
Yeah. I always enjoy talking about it. I love podcasts, man. I like really if it wasn't for streaming, and I could sit here and talk all day about boats, but which I do. So I mean, it's a fantastic medium to really get out there what you want to get out there, your thoughts and your opinions, and answer questions, and then have a debate on conflicting opinions with some of the people that you have. Or I love podcasts. I tried to get this one off the ground with my man Volgar. But conflicts of scheduling, and I said, all right, I'll just do it myself. And so there you go. We just decided.
Same way shooting the ships happen is, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? Screw it, I'm just doing it. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it blew up quick too. I mean, we've had Jingles on, we've had Euro, we've gotten some of the Russian CCs, Turi, Hertz from Germany. It's been a ton of fun.
Right. I say
we got next month. We got Cammy Samurai and Static the Warmonger coming on for January, called Getting Battleship Shape for the New Year.
There you go. Two good people. I've had Static on the cast a couple of times. Fantastic dude, and needs more attention on his stream. Man, his stream is really good.
Freak of nature in battleships.
Yeah, did do well. I mean, I had him on for the cruiser podcast because my cruiser guy backed out on me last minute, and unfortunately, luckily he was available and decided to come help me out right at the last minute. And he was like, I don't know much about cruisers. I was like, fine, look at it through the battleship point of view, what you're looking at when you're looking at cruisers. And it was a great cast. We had a good time. All right, so there you go. We'll go number 8. Question number 8 here is any tips for people that want to stream World of Warships or an aspiring streamer overall?
Talk, God, talk, people. That's the biggest thing. When I pop into, I love, first off, going into 1 or 2 viewer World of Warship streams and seeing what they're doing. Just see what they're doing. Just pop in there. I don't say a word. They don't know I'm there. I'm just essentially lurking. If they are chatting, they're saying what they're seeing. They're trying to talk through what's going on. Then I'll pipe in. I'm like, hey, dude, you're doing awesome. Have you tried this? Just to gauge their interaction level, they're paying attention. If they actually start engaging, I'll be like, hey, check your DMs real quick. And I'll shoot them a CC camo code. I'm like, here you go. That should help you along, man. Have a good one. You use it for yourself, or if you want to do a little giveaway with it,
there you go.
Good luck. But if you're just quiet and you're just staring, I'll give you about 30 seconds to say something before I start to write you off. Because if you're like in the middle of a fight, I know you get tunnel vision sometimes. But when you're just, the match is just starting and you're just like zoning out, I'm like, this is so not fun to watch. I'm never going to come back to this person.
There's also something to be said about newer streamers that some people have never told them. I mean, that's like, you got to be talking. You got to. That's one thing that I've always tried to do is just run my mouth. I mean, I remember when I first started ships. It was 2.5 years ago. We didn't have very many people in the channel. Just some of the guys that. The loyal, I don't know what you call it, the loyal viewers that would come over, that came over from Path of Exile when I made that swap, or actually I was in Diablo 3 at the time and I had pulled back over there. 1 or 2 guys would show up, and then I got real lucky at the very beginning. I got a guy named Poulter, and and a guy named Mo You Down were in my very first stream, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Anybody want to play? And they were like, I'll play. So they basically taught me how to play the game, and we were just us back and forth chit chatting and jibber jabbering the whole time. And this is what some things you see on ours on our channel. There's somebody always talking to me, which I absolutely love because it encourages me to engage with them, and I'm also able to engage with the chat as well. And I know that's something that you do as well.
Yeah, I was horrible with that initially, and I was streaming. What the hell was I playing? I was doing Space Engineers, and a buddy of mine who loves sandbox games, loves space stuff. I'm like, dude, check out the stream from yesterday. Just queue up the VOD, go check it out. He's like, dude, that game looks amazing. He's like, but I tried watching it for 5 minutes, and good God, you are so painful to watch. I'm like, what? Was it bad quality? He goes, no, you don't say shit. If you don't start talking, dude, we friends, and I'm not coming back. Yeah. I was like, oh, and it's stuck. And then I make it a point to chat, even if I'm just making a smart-ass comment, or what is that dude doing? Is that guy naked over there? Oh, good Lord. Just something so words are flowing. And make sure my chat's visible at all times so I can keep up with people. That was probably one of the early turning points, is I started seeing people coming back because I was talking. And it all started from a friend. He doesn't stream. Dude plays offline games. Maybe every once in a while the guys at work can get him to hop on for like a Black Ops game with them for about an hour. But when something like that, it's like, that shit was painful. It's like, well, that dude doesn't know anything about it. It's like, done.
Something's got to change if that guy's saying it. I mean,
exactly.
There you go. All right, so question number 9, moving into our last question here, and then I'm going to have to take a real quick break. Give me your biggest tip that you have for new players in World of Warships. Also, there's a caveat to this, your favorite ship and your favorite map.
Okay. So, biggest tip to a brand new player, especially now going through the new player experience, don't play alone. If you are divisioned up, it will yank you out of the 90% bot matches that are going to teach you extremely bad habits. Like, no joke, right now the bots will line up like it's the damn Revolutionary War in gun lines and shoot each other from 2 kilometers. Mm-hmm. Pair up with a friend. If you know somebody that's playing, pair up with them. If you don't, do the open create a division and put it open so people can join you. You will learn 100 times more. You will enjoy the game so much more. I got lucky. That's how I started, was playing with friends. If I would have went through this new player experience, if I would have done that as opposed to having my buddy go, all right, let's hop in for 3 games, to where I was against other people, not the bots, I probably would have never continued on if I would have went through the experience and play with friends. It makes so much of a difference. After Tier 5, play solo all you want. It's a regular game. You're going to know what's going on. Favorite ship? Oh, God, it's kind of scumbaggy.
Always the good ones, man.
Hold on. If I'm going favorite premium, it's the Belfast.
Okay.
It's the first premium I ever bought for myself. And it's really tied with the Arizona, which was the first premium ever given to me, which was a birthday gift from a buddy from Hotel Kilo Actual. Mm-hmm. Favorite non-premium is still the Cleveland. Even with her being back up at the higher tier, I still love the Cleveland. I'll play that thing all day long and make CBs cry and watch the world burn with HE.
There you go. Well, what's your favorite map so far? Or maybe you can't narrow it down to your favorite map, but one that you tend to do the best on.
You know, Two Brothers, man. Two Brothers is my favorite.
There you go, buddy.
The memeiest map. Like, when you've got 3 buddies, you're triple Leone, and you just YOLO Two Brothers, and all of a sudden they turn around and go, oh, God, because they realize they've got 48 barrels pointing at them in their backfield that wasn't there a minute ago. Or just the fact, if you can get a team to just stonewall on one side while the other side pushes, like, there's just so many meme-worthy and just tactical ways you can play that map. It is probably, in my opinion, the best map in the game.
It's so I love that. I love that map, man. $5 up the middle, bro. That's the way I roll. And we go up that gut, and we win more than we lose. All right, cool, guys. That's the 9 questions of averages. You got to know a little bit more about Khreegor. I'm gonna have to step away for about 2 seconds here. Something's happening in the background. But you guys can hit up twitch.tv/Khreegor, and you guys can also hit him up on the Twitter at Khreegor. We'll be back, or at _Khreegor, excuse me. We'll be back. One more thing of news that I left out during the news section, then we'll get into our first topic, which is the new ships. So hang out, guys. I'll be right back.
All right, he's away and he can't hear us. What kind of things do we want to pick on him when he gets back? Just ask all the weird questions you can think of. Sorry, I did delay to make sure he walked away and left us live. I mean, we're totally behaving here. We want to ask him about the bikini stream, Floofy? Oh, guys, heads up. I meant to mention it earlier, but we got sidetracked on the shooting the ship thing. If you guys want to win a lot of stuff, starting Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific with TC Freer, we're starting the Ho 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 Brotherhood of Beards Christmas extravaganza, where it's just raid to streamers constantly, with all of us having stuff to give away. So like I'm at 12:30 a.m. or 12:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and I'm giving away Turpits. I don't remember what else they're giving me to give away, but it's boats, it's Santa Mega Crate codes. It's premium time, the new warships premium time. Guys, if you want the free shit, that's where you can grab it up. We're going to be having a blast. And then Monday night, I'm doing a very merry Viking Christmas Eve stream. I'll tell you guys later the boats you're going to get on that one. Because I think the boss is back.
All right.
Look busy.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that little delay, but that was unavoidable interruption there. All right, so
I was telling them about how to win a bunch of free shit all weekend long that you missed out on, man.
Well, there you go. I'm all right. I got everything in the game, so it's okay. Let's see. Moving on. Back to one more section of news. We're talking about rank season, the rank sprint. One rank season that we did not talk about was the new Tier 9 arms race rank season.
Yes.
You guys heard about this thing? I know we talked about it a little bit last night, but holy snot, boys. Tier 9 rank season. Number one, Missouris are going to be everywhere. It's going to be ridiculous. You're going to see a lot of everything, except for probably the Freddy. But maybe with this buff that it's getting, you'll probably see some more. But everything at Tier 9 is viable as well. Tier 9 viability. The cruisers are just as good as the battleships, and the destroyers are fantastic. So, I mean, it's another real balanced tier.
So tell me your top three then, sir. Your
top
number
three,
one battleship, your number one destroyer, and your number one cruiser.
Man, this is such a hard thing. There's so many good ships. For me, my Tier 9, I'm probably going to play the black because of the radar and the smoke. I don't ever count on my torpedoes anyway, so that's probably going to be my go-to is the black. Maybe that and the Kitakaze. Yeah, that one. Those would probably be the two that I would choose. Past that for cruisers, God, I mean, any one of the cruisers. I mean, the Ibuki's good now, but I won't be playing any cruisers during the rank season. Let's see. Being that it's, you know what? I don't know. The Beefalo's a pretty good one. The Beefalo would probably be really solid if it's mini Demonis, I guess. Man, I don't even the Rune. I mean, they're all good. All the cruisers at 9 are pretty decent now. So either take your pick on that one, and then Missouri would probably be number one choice. That and Musashi would be the number 1 and 2 choices for battleships played.
Yep. Yeah.
Probably,
for me,
probably see a flanking John Bart every once in a while, but
yeah, the old bean fart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my go-to cruiser for that is going to be the Seattle. I think. Really? I had so much fun in that boat.
I had such a struggle. with the Seattle. I mean, like, And I played every game here live. I don't play off. I don't play the game offline. If I'm playing a game, I might as well be streaming the game. So I feel like I waste my time when I play offline. But I could not stand the Seattle. It was not consistent enough for me. Number one. Number two, I would get one fire a game, and then I would get 12 fires, and there was never any 5 or 6 fire games. It was just a weird boat for me. I didn't. It became for me. It became another experience sink at Tier 9, like the Ibuki was years ago or ages ago.
So I ran the Demolition Expert IFHE Seattle, so I wasn't having to rely on fires. I essentially used it like the UK Death by 1,000 Cuts, and then the other thing I challenge everybody to try in that boat, the nose in broadside. So nose in, as soon as they fire, kick out your ass to where you're almost broadside to them, and laugh. Because they're aiming to go through your superstructure. When you turn sideways all of a sudden, they're hitting your handrail where your thin armor goes right out the other side of the ship, and it's all over pens. And you will piss off so many Yamatos and Monis and Repubs, or in this case, Misuris and Musashis, when they're just overpen. You're like, that's cool. I'm still shooting. But that one, the Dirty Kitakazi or the Fletcher, I can't pick. Fletcher's so amazing, but that Kitakazi is going to so change the meta for that Tier 9, especially with people having to push because they're doing the style they are, which I'm so excited they're bringing back that game style. But I'm right there with you. Missouri and Musashi, why would you not use the 2 premiums that let you power train captains or just, the credits. Trump wagon? You just rake in the money.
It's the Trump Musashi now because they upped the credit value on the Musashi. From my understanding, it was going to get up to Missouri status.
Really, I didn't know that one. I know it's
that was
still
something.
The
That was the
train.
rumor. That was the rumor. Now that whether that actually takes place or not, you're still going to see some all states. I'm sorry, you're in good hands with all states.
The all ass.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of. I mean, like I said, every battleship. It's so hard to pick. My personal, I would probably play the black just because of their extra radar and the smoke. That's just too good of an advantage to pass up. Yeah.
But who knows that the upgraded Freddy the Groper could become the dark horse that comes out of nowhere that nobody was expecting.
You know what? I'd be surprised if I didn't see a lot of Izumos in there, because the Izumo, I've always loved the Izumo, even before they buffed the armor and the deck armor and the accuracy or whatever. But I've always thought it was a fun boat. It was different than any of the other lines because you play the Amagi max range. It's got really good quote unquote, I say good accuracy, and never really accuracy for me. And then you got the Yamato, which is another long range monster. When you roll through with an Izumo, it plays different than any of the other boats in that line. Meaning you're gonna be bow in. And I love the bow up cruisers. I love the Dunkirk or the battleships. I love the Dunkirk, the Nelson. I love the Richelieu and I love these bow only guns. Which gives it a whole nother dynamic than the rest of the lines that are just, let's just sit max range or let's set off and do things. It gives me, it encourages me to want to actually.
Well, did you see what Betch just said that they talked about recently in a dev diary? They're increasing the AP pen on it.
Well, it needs some help.
Yamato pen.
That's good. I mean, it needs some pin value. Who knows, man? Who knows? But I don't know. I like the Izumo as well. But one thing we haven't talked about yet for Tier 9 is that Kronstadt is going to be a monster too. It's going to be it's going to be able to hold.
About the crunchy crab. I just got mine out of a Santa crate.
Yeah. Well, I ended up having to buy one because I know the Alaska's coming out, and if they just happen to do it for free XP, then I'll be able to grind up more.
So speaking about it, Floger's brought up a good one. You're excited? Oh, actually, it may be on the docket for upcoming boats. So
it is. We're definitely on. We're definitely on the docket for what they're doing, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and put them into the chat, and we'll address those toward the end of the show, so we can keep the show flowing a little bit faster. So here we go. First subject of the day, which is what we're going to talk about right now. That comment: new ships that are coming out. They have announced the UK CV line. And then they've also announced the Russian battleship line. Now, there's been some controversy toward these. toward these battleships. So some people are like, how can they be considered real ships for the game if they're all on paper and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care. It's more content for me to want to grind out. Now, there's one thing that I want to say right now that I wish that they would not do, and that's give away half of the line. I hate the fact that they give away half of the line. I understand the reason behind it, because you don't get 300 and 400 people playing battleships in Tier 3, like we saw with the last release that they didn't give away, which was the German battleships. When the German battleships played, there was 300 Nassaus in there in the queue, and it was just whole games nothing but Nassaus. So there you go. I understand it. I don't particularly appreciate that, but it's like, why would I ever want to go back and play Tier 2, 3, 4, or Tier 3, 4, 5 if I started out with 6? I have yet to play anything under the Normandy, because I got the Normandy out of the little challenge, and then I moved my way up, and I've never gone back to play 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5. There's no reason for it.
What if they capped it at Tier 5?
If they want to give away 3, 4, 5, fine, I'm okay with that, because that's still 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 that I can grind out. For somebody like me who has every boat in the game except for the daring, I'm looking for other excuses to play the game. I'm looking for another route for me to take. Like my initial play, okay, get everything to Tier 10. Now, once I have that at Tier 10, what's next? Okay, well, this line just came out. Well, I got to the Tier 7 out of the boxes, or the missions, or whatever they were, and now I'm grinding out 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not playing 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think they should cap it at 5. 5 is when your new players are consistently facing other people. They're not getting backfill bot, so they're not going to... Well, they're still going to get smashed. Honestly, if they come across some of the players, that have multiple Tier 10s and know what they're doing, so they're just going back going, this is going to be easy, let me blow through it. So I like the idea of skipping, but I don't think it should skip past Tier 5. I think Tier 5 should be the highest one to not clog the queues, like you said, with all of a sudden you have everybody wants to play that new line. They want to get a feel for it. You don't really get a feel for it at 2 and 3. So you're just clogging the queue. Now we have a ton of Russian battleships at the lower tier, and we're going to have just a metric crap ton of British CVs.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. All right, so let's get into the British CVs real quick, and then we'll go into something that we actually know about and actually care about, is the Soviet battleships. I'm kidding, for all you CV players out there. British carriers, apparently they're removing 5, 7, and 9. This is what they've done. Hermes, the Furious, the Implacable, and the Audacious. That's 4, 6, 8, and 10 in that order. Still have no stats on these things. Probably won't have stats on these things for a while because of the CV rework that is still in process right now, which is getting closer. They did say that these things would release sometime in January. That's the information that I was told, and I'm not. And guys, don't ask questions that he can't answer. So I'm not going to ask when did they say they was going to, because he can't tell us, number one, and probably number two, he doesn't know. So do that when you're tailoring your questions for later. So Hermes, Furious, Implacable, Audacious. I don't know. I played one or two of the I played the first CV rework challenge or PTR. Did not play the second or the third one due to time constraints and just really not wanting to care. From what I saw, the AA on the first set of rework wasn't as great. The second one was a little bit overpowered. The third one was just kind of it's getting there. What are your thoughts on the CVs?
So I'm looking forward to it for 2 reasons. One, right now, I really hate the idea that one player can determine the entire match.
Agreed.
And that is not to tell CV players to play bad, because I want the good one on my team. I just think that it causes, one, way too much hate if you're the guy that's not better than the other side, to be directed at you, which really sucks as a player to deal with that one. I don't care how thick-skinned you are. After a while, it will wear you down. Mm-hmm. 2, I think it ruins the game completely. And 3, I actually, for a while, was enjoying World of Planes before they did what they've done recently. And so the
How's,
idea of flying around in them.
how similar to World of Planes is the CV rework? Because I never played World of Warplanes.
So I did ground attackers in it. So I was the one trying to flip the bases and push their ground attackers off the bases while the dogfighters were above me, giving me cover. So having to aim with reticles and adjust for your speed because it will throw your bombs out of whack and everything else, similar. However, your planes really being on a rail like they are, best way I could describe it, it's not. So in World of Warplanes, I can drop my Spitfire to 3 meters off the ground and throw rooster tails. I'm ripping across the water, getting ready to pull up into a dogfight, because I'm just trying to come in low. I can't do that in the CV rework. If I could, y'all would be getting wrecked real quick because I was an animal in that one. So I love the way they're going with it. I know a lot of people are angry because they loved that CVs. They can still enjoy the game, but still get a completely different flavor as opposed to, look, I'm driving a boat around, and that's where they feel it is with the planes. So I understand the gripes on that side. But overall health of the game, I mean, the only options were rework or get rid of them. And getting rid of them would piss off more people than a rework.
I think the rework was necessary. I think they might have been able to get away with just a flat up AA rework instead of reworking the entire thing, but they've already said that they wanted to rework it anyway. So my opinion doesn't really matter here. But I think the fact that my biggest issue with CVs in the game right now is they take away your ability to play the game. And I'll preface that by saying this, or I'll explain that by saying this. I had a game where I was a T8 playing the Charlie Martel full AA build. Well, not manual AA, but AFT AA on the guns, no accuracy mod. I got one drop by a midway. I have not fired one shot at an enemy at all this entire game. You are basically taking my 10 minutes or whatever, my 8 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it was to that point that I've done nothing in this game. You have literally taking my ability to die on my own out of my hands because my AA is not good enough to shoot down one plane out of these 3-4 squadrons that are coming in. That's a little bit overpowered. This is why I've been a big proponent of saying in the current state, Tier 10 CVs should never see Tier 8 planes, or should never see Tier 8 boats, and vice versa. 8s should not see 10s because they're just too strong. Their planes are too strong for my Tier 8s to
Tier 10s
to
have
do
the same
anything.
problem, though.
No,
I
exactly.
have been 100-0, literal 100-0. I came in, camped up behind the island. Nobody spotted me until the enemy midway did. In my full AA build, flags, the whole 9 yards, Des Moines.
One shot.
Coming in, right when he hits the edge of my AA, pop my DFAA, do not shoot down a single plane, and yet gone. Done.
There you go.
100-0 AP bombs. I'm like,
so that's the most frustrating aspect. And there's other games out there that, like a Diablo 3, that have one-shot mechanics that are unavoidable. And then there's games like Path of Exile that have one-shot mechanics, but if you get one-shot, it's your fault because you didn't move. There's indicators and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. This is out of your hands. There's nothing that you can do, and you're just at the mercy of some random RNGesus to take you out of this game 100%. That's not fair to the guy getting dropped on. It's way overpowered for that midway. And how often does that happen? Well, when you're 10s versus 8s, 90% or 70% of your time, that happens a lot. And I think that an AA rework needed to be instituted first to see if they could fix the current aspect of the CVs before they went to rework it. But they decided to go ahead and rework it anyway. The being inconsistent, whereas same Demonies, full AA spec Demonies, I come in there, I shoot down 4 planes on the way in. He drops me for 24,000 damage on AP bombs alone. Kill 1 on the way out. The next volley in, my defensive AA is up. I shoot down no planes. He hits me with 1 set of bombers for the rest of my hit points. I'm like, that's not fair. This is supposed to be the best AA boat at Tier 10, or one of the best, if not the best. The Minotaur people argue with me, but it doesn't do enough. I mean, like, the AA doesn't do enough sometimes, or it overperforms the other times. There's no middle ground with the AA in the current state. So I'm hoping that they can fix the AA issue with this CV rework. So far, they saw that wasn't enough. Then they saw that it was overpowered. I don't know if I like the aura thing, because now you're almost guaranteeing hits with the avoidable AA bubble. I'm okay with that, because that does take a little bit of CV skill, and I want to reward those guys with their skill, and then the just AA only guaranteed at the short range. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like, it will definitely get me to actually play CVs. Where right now, not happening. Yeah. I know I can't do it. I know I'm going to be a detriment to my team. I'm not going to bother trying to go out and learn it, because all I'm doing is ruining the game for 11 other people. Unless I go into just co-op matches, which they're bots. They roll straight. I'm not going to really learn anything on that one.
Mechanics of dropping and then adjusting, because they do tend to turn out on you on that. My limit is tier 6. I can do tier 6 pretty well. Tier 7 is where it just poops on me. Even with a Saipan, I just get trashed on. I don't know if it's too many things going on at once, or the difference of AA. But I've been through this game enough to know what AA is to avoid, and I just cannot.
Mechanics are my problem. I just can't get
make it work.
Mechanics down.
There you go. Strafe mechanics are interesting. They don't react the way that they should, in my opinion. Meaning there's some, I don't know. It's just inconsistencies around the whole CV thing. So rework, I don't know. We'll see actually when they release, and I'll probably dip into it for a little bit to see if I'm going to actually enjoy it. Learn the mechanics. You got to play at least, in my opinion, you got to play at least 10 to 30 games or so, anywhere between 10 to 15, 20, 30 games before you can actually have an educated opinion on it. I've heard so many people play 1 or 2 games in a boat. This thing's garbage, because they're not playing the boat the way that they're supposed to be playing the boat. And then when they finally do, they're like, "Oh, this thing is great. I like this. This is dope."
Yeah, probably the biggest thing I tell everybody watching when it comes to CV rework: look at the 3 stages of Ben already said. The first one, the AA, was garbage. The second one, the AA, was like sticking your hand into a blender and hoping you kept your fingers, because you weren't. The third one, it was getting a lot closer, which means every stage, guys, they're taking the feedback you guys are getting. So if you're in the test, please fill out the feedback form. They're using it, trying to make something that the community is happy with. Don't write it off after 2. Play the 20 or 30 matches, whatever you can, and give them the feedback. Don't put "this is garbage." Put "why. Here's what I'm running into. Here's what I'm seeing." You guys have already seen it. They will take that feedback, and they're trying to make it better. Please, for the love of God, give them real feedback, not "this is a dumpster fire that some hobo left a surprise in," because that was the feedback that was put in on some of them. Like, I've heard stories of some of the feedback. I'm like, how is that going to help?
That doesn't help
at all.
If you are going to get into that thing and you do fill out the thing, make it good. Make it a good feedback for them. Hey, I enjoyed this. This is what I enjoyed about it. This is what I didn't enjoy about it. When I was playing this, I would turn to the left and the shit would go right. I mean, it was something simple. Break it down that way. All right. Moving into the one everybody actually cares about, the Soviet battleships. I will go, I'm going to butcher these names, but there's 3 through 10. It's a full line they're going to bring out, and then 1 premium, which is the Lenin, which you guys can look at the pictures. I'm not going to go over and show pictures or anything, but we'll go over a couple of these names, and there's the link if you guys, there's the link. If you guys want to check that out for yourself and see some of these pictures. Kanyats Suvarov, no idea. Tier 3. Gangut. I'm not even going to attempt tier 5. There's a T5 one. We have the Sinop, the Vladivostok, the Sovietsky Soyuz, and then the Kreml is your tier 10. And then, of course, as the aforementioned premium tier 8 is the Lenin. Soviet battleships, I know this isn't your forte. I'm interested in another battleship line. Like I said, we have no idea what these are going to be specialized in. I'm hoping I'm hoping no 15-inch guns end up on this line. Yeah. 15-inch guns are the absolute worst at 15 in this game at the mid tiers. I'm talking 8, 9, 10. 15-inch guns are just absolutely terrible. I wish they had one called the Sika Bliat, but that's another story.
I'm hoping that we get a premium one called the Gulag.
The
But
Gulag.
I don't think there was ever actually a ship laid down or, built out named the Gulag, so we'll probably never see it. But if they ever, made a joke ship, I think it would be a great one. Which, guys, for everybody who will probably see this argument here soon, but they were never a real ship. They were a paper ship, which means they were architecturally designed, handed over to start building, and never got a chance to be laid down before wars ended. They were like on their way with the guy to head down to the shipyards, which is why we're getting them.
Yeah, that's I don't know, man. The 15-inch guns are the bane of my existence in this game. I would like to see a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. And if they do a little bit smaller, you got to up the pin value a little bit and make them accurate, like really accurate. I hope these things are accurate with relatively decent secondaries. Kind of like the U.S. are. I want them to be a jack of all trades, just like the U.S. are, because you can snipe with the Americans, and you can brawl with the Americans if you have to, and you're relatively accurate and you're relatively consistent in the damage and the accuracy of these boats. If they are going to be brawlers, I hope that they are smaller gun brawlers, so they can justify accuracy buffs on these things. But I in the metas that have come and gone, it's been brawler after brawler after brawler, or just HE spam. I cannot stand HE spam. There's too much HE in this game as it is. So I'm hoping this is a good solid AP pounding freaking battleship line.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I don't want to see the Russian HE on these, where it burns forever. I would love to see that flat railgun arc we're used to from the Russian cruisers being carried over, and either give me a slow firing, big Yamato cannon style on this thing. Crap secondaries. We don't need another secondary ship.
Well,
line.
better than the
French,
Roma.
We've got the German.
Can we get better than the Roma? I mean, those are only like 5.8 kilometers, man. That's pretty terrible.
Better than the Roma. Give me at least US.
Seven
or 8.
Seven?
That
right.
looks perfect.
We'll
Something to defend yourself against those destroyers that aren't afraid of AP anymore in the Yellow Russia battleships. But I want to see that thick Moskva armor belt, to where when it's taking that pounding, it just kind of looks over like that big pissed Russian bear and says, "Did you just hit me?" Yeah. To where you need to counter it. One that actually has to be countered with HE and torpedoes, because the standard AP doesn't do it. But I want those pen values that looks at the Yamato and goes, "I don't need your cheek. Welcome to Russia," and punches it back, which we don't have right now.
What's a little bit of Russian bias.
Yeah, but I don't want that Russian fire chance, because we've already got that.
Yeah,
in the Conqueror.
We've got it everywhere else. I mean, like literally every other boat sets way too many fires as it is. Honestly, we do need some secondaries. We do need some longer range secondaries. I think the Roma should get longer range secondary buff upgrades because of the fact that they're AP and they're having to swap AP now. Battleship AP versus destroyers is absolutely terrible right now, and I don't foresee it changing at any time in the future. I wish they would, guys. There you go. Start that ground roots campaign about DDs needing to be punished and not being able to rush my battleship from 10 kilometers.
That so many times
so
since it was first
bad,
posed.
dude. It's so bad.
I was like, I'm not even a BP main, but you know what? I just want to go grab my destroyers I'm grinding up and just charge them, going,
that's all you have to do.
You can't touch me.
Some of them you have to be careful, like the Montana and stuff with that. But anyway, hopefully these things are accurate, relatively tanky. I don't want turtleback armor like the Germans, because we see that it's a failure. It doesn't really do what it's supposed to do, because to get all the guns on them, you have to really go broadside, and when you're broadside, you take 20,000 damage to the upper armor belt anyway, so it doesn't really do what they had planned it to do. In my opinion, which makes the German battleship line one of the worst in the game, just for consistency. And it's inaccurate as hell. But one thing, what do you think about the? All right, you've got the October Revolution. You've played it a few times, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that repair party being a limited number of repairs, but you can use it after 18 seconds, that could be something that they could implement all over the place and maybe to counteract some of these just massive fire chances that I'm on. I have a game where I'm on 19 fires one game in a battleship. 19 fires in 18 minutes of this
I
game.
know. I was watching that one. I thought you
And
were going to blow your top. You
yeah,
kept it cooler than I thought you were.
it was
I was proud of you.
ridiculous, and so maybe if they implement this like they do on the October Revolution. If you guys don't know, you have a limited number of charges for the repair party or damage control party, excuse me, and you can roll them up after 18 seconds of a cooldown. What do you think of this? Do you think this is something that they should implement on these, or would that be its flavor?
Yes, but you'd have to definitely increase the number you're going to get because
Yeah.
at those lower tiers, the October, it's not facing as many fire spitters as you're going to face when you hit those tier 8 and higher. Your Kitakazes, Julitlans, Darings, your Worcesters, Seattles. I mean,
Anything?
any
Everything.
cruiser who sees a bigger than him battleship coming at him and is smart enough to know you're beyond 12 kilometers and bow in on me, I'm going to just light you on fire and run away laughing. Yeah, I could see it working. I could see that being its shtick is even if you get it burning, it doesn't burn as long. But if you do something like that where you're really cranking up its survivability, because I honestly see it having thicker armor. Like Volgar mentioned earlier, they had said the Kremlin is not going to be as big as the Kurfürst, but heavier. Well, if it's not as big in size and it's heavier, it's got to be that thicker armor. It's got to be that belt we're seeing on Moskva right now. So you'd have to lower its firepower. So if they do something like that, I see getting the smaller guns or more of a Republic layout when you get to the higher tiers. 4 on the front, 4 on the back, as opposed to 6 front, 6 back. So you're going to lose a barrel or two. But I could definitely see that being a pretty good shtick for it. A stronger survivability, its ability to put out the fires in cycle over a given amount of time. But you'd have to, like you said, you'd have to limit it like you do on the October, because if you give them unlimited, that thing's just it will be, pre-nerf Conqueror when it first launched.
Jeez, Conqueror was ridiculous. It's still ridiculous now, and that counters the Stalingrad and Moscow very well with its high alpha HE damage.
But I think it would be a really cool. Now that you bring it up, and the more I think about it, I think it'd be a really cool counter, especially looking back to World War II early, before Hitler pissed in Stalin's Cheerios. When they were fighting back and forth. And the UK was the other side, and they got the high HE, flaming boats. So we need a boat that can counter it. Be a little bit more resistant. I can see that being fun. I might have to pass that one up. Like, if you haven't done it yet, Venom had a great idea. Check this out. If Volgar hasn't already typed that one up and sent it in, being a BB Manias.
Probably. The Kremlin is got 17.9s, 457s on it, so it would be Republic-style guns.
Yamato's 18. Yeah. That's 17.9. That's pretty damn close.
That's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful guns, and man, it's gonna be a monster. I know. Watch out, Cruiser, man, because it's gonna eat you up. And hopefully, it has the good pins like the others, like the Yamatos do.
That thing could be running 800 millimeter, man. Island armor, best armor. You're not getting through that mountain.
There you go, guys. There you go. Pro tip from Khreegor there.
Island armor, best armor.
The best armor. So there you go. All right, there's not much left. That's not much else that we know about these Soviet battleships other than the pictures. Like I said, if you guys want to look at some of these pictures that they have, you guys can check out the link. You guys can check out the link that I am going to post to you right now. And like I said, for you YouTuber guys that are watching on YouTube, description below both. All right, so now. One thing a couple things, for 1,500 balloons, you guys can get 4 new captains in the arsenal coming up in the next one. You have George Doe, which is John Doe's brother, so I'm assuming it's going to have the same things. Vasily Znamensky, Naminsky. I was
I
Reinhard
think you
von
said it
Jutland.
right.
And then Charles Henry Horney. It's Henri, but you got John Jack Horney, and then you got Charles Henry Horney. So I'm assuming they're going to be exactly the same clones. They're just brothers of each other. You got George Doe. So you got American, Russian, German, and another French captain that you guys can pick up for 1,500 doubloons apiece. And also there is a Tier 3 Charleston as a St. Louis that you guys can pick up for 15,000 coal out of the premium shop coming up soon with the next patch, I believe.
Or as a new player, you get that thing free.
Yeah, well, I mean, it always pains me to see, as being a player of the game for many years now, or 2.5 years. That's many years for a lot of games, honestly. I always hate seeing the new players getting some benefits. It's like, where's ours? You know, where's mine? I want my free Charleston. These guys are having to start a new account. Where's the payoff for us? You know, and this will lead us into the next segue here. Steel. Steel, the hot commodity. I know this is we've talked about this before on the podcast. There's some things that are coming this relatively soon that are upsetting some of the community out there in Steel, and some of these guys that are playing the clan wars and the rank seasons and stuff like that, and they're earning this Steel the hard way. Now you're going to be able to purchase a campaign that you can get some Steel, and we wrote down some information here. Plus, they're also doing another free campaign. Not necessarily a campaign, but the Snowflake. And I wrote down some of these things. So the premium Snowflake, I will just call it a campaign. It's not technically a campaign, but event. The Tier 2 through Tier 7 premiums. For each victory that you get on these boats, you will receive, starting at Tier 2. Tier 2 is 300 coal, 400, 500, and then 1,000 coal for the Tier 7 premiums. Tier 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's 2, 3, and 4 is 300, 400 is 5, 5 is 6, and then 1,000 for 7. And then at 8, 9, and 10 premium ships, you're getting 200 steel per victory. That's on those. All right, 200 steel. That's a lot. Then for the line ships, starting at 5, 6, 7, and 8, this is 300, 400, 750, and 1,000 coal. And then at 9, you get 50 steel per win, and 10 is 100 steel per win, but you can only get this once to blow off that Snowflake. That's I really didn't do all the math on that because I didn't have time to actually math that. But that's quite a bit of free, basically free steel going out to these players. You guys can do the math for yourself. I'm not gonna do that. But then there's also one other thing. You guys are going to be able to get 4,000 steel, 4 big Santa boxes, and 1 mega box from the purchasable campaign.
Yep.
All right, Khreegor, let it loose, bro. Let's hear it.
Dude, I'm 100% against it. Like, I don't have the
100% against the free steel, or 100% at all?
100% against the steel. So here's my thought on it. I don't have the Stalingrad yet. I don't have my black. I don't have my flint. I'm learning it the hard way. Those boats they're amazing ships. They're damn good. I'm not going to call them OP because right now they're not out in the masses yet. So the people you have it are your top 2%ers. You, Dort, Najash, Cammy, Senpai, Potato Quality, all those guys, Citizen Sick. The dudes who have sat there and can manage the mental perseverance to hit rank 1 and not want to shoot their screen hoping it hits the guy on the other side, in the face. I don't think that one should be given out like candy. I think it cheapens the results from ranked. Well, I'd rather sit here and take another year before I get my Stalingrad and grind it. I mean, I'm going to do the missions. They're there. I'm not going to skip running my premiums. I have fun playing. You
got to buy the campaign.
It'll definitely feel cheaper when I get the Stalingrad because I'll have the stuff earlier. But I get it at the same time. I mean, I don't know the exact reasoning, so this is 100% speculation, guys. Purely, I think part of it is to get some of those boats out in the public hands more, to show that these things are not these OP monsters that everybody thinks they are. It is 100% the players playing them are that damn good. I could be totally wrong, and it could be they're just like, let's just give them nice things for Christmas. Um, Cole, go for it. I mean, there's only limited ships you can get with Cole. It's mainly so you can get those signals and stuff you need. Lord knows in tier 10 matches, when I watch somebody detonate, it hurts me a little bit on the inside, but at the same time, I still find it funny because, hey, free flags.
It happens.
So let him go bind them or buy them. But God, I don't like the steel. Give them doubloons, man. Don't give them steel.
I have two thoughts on this. Number one, I'm probably going to get the reward or the campaign for steel because, hey, it's going to be there. I'm not going to be the only one buying this thing, whether we agree with it or not, depending on how much it is. Now, it's 4K. What would be a good price for this thing? $20, $30? I don't know. I probably wouldn't spend more than 25 on it. But to get that, I only have one ship left to get, and that's the Stalingrad. And then this new whatever the French battleship Baguette Burgajoni or whatever it's called. I will probably end up getting that one over the Kronstadt. I'm not a big cruiser player, so I don't see me playing the Kronstadt. Even if I took the time to spend that steel, I'm gonna get something that I'm actually gonna play. So that would be my goal throughout this steel. But even then, I'm still gonna have to grind it out. But my biggest issue is that I played through 6 seasons of ranked season. That's all the grinds, the hundreds of games, the thousands of games that I've played in those ranked seasons, in those 6 seasons, to earn the Flint, to earn the Black. And now they're just willy-nilly giving it away. It kind of cheapens the fact that I've taken that time to grind that thing out. I consider it a smack in the face. I understand that these things should be available to everybody. The sentiment, no. At some point in time, how much do you give away? Right? How much time? Oh, no, you want this, you have to earn it. No, I'm not going to give it away. If you don't like it, then that's it. And I understand wanting to retain new players or wanting to retain interest in the rank season, but how are you going to do that if you're giving everything away? And now you're going to be able to purchase this stuff, and now you're giving away the one thing that is going to push these people into these other game modes that you are promoting, that you are continuing to come out, that you are continuing to work for. If you're going to give away the rewards from that, so they can go get this stuff and never take place in Clan Wars, never take place in the rank seasons. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all.
I would rather
disagree with it.
A slight increase in the steel rewards from the rank sprints and the new God, I always forget the name of the game, so I always want to say Arsenal, which isn't correct. But the new rank 9 season with the new game type they're doing, I'd rather see the steel get increased in those. What was it?
Arms race.
Arms race. I always want to say Arsenal. I always screw that up, no matter who I'm talking to. The arms race, increase it there so the people are having to come in and be competitive and earn it. Somebody did the math.
There was something that I was talking to Volgar about a while ago. Arms race would be a good thing if they rewarded it correctly. I don't think that they rewarded the original arms race very good. I played 3 games in it and then never went back to it because there was no point. I wasn't being able to finish my missions. I wasn't being able to grind out the rest of the lines properly. I wasn't getting bonuses, and there was no reason for me to want to play it. Why would I want to do that, waste my flags, burn my flags, when I could just do all this and get these missions done here? So they kind of messed up on the rewards for it. But if they reward something correctly...
Oh, trust me. He gave that feedback. I heard him in person give that feedback more than anybody willing to listen to him give that specific feedback. Wilger made a point to pass that one on.
Yeah.
With me standing there nodding with a stern look on my face, like, damn right.
Yeah. So there you go. So you'll be able to collect that. Steel. I don't know, man. It's a hot button topic, and everybody's going to have their opinions on it. Some of the people that don't even want to attempt clan battles, like myself, I don't really care about clan battles all that much. Or the people that don't want to play rank season. I love rank season because I know that I'm doing something for my team, and then I get the reward. I played 5 freaking seasons. Then the Flint I get the Black, and I'm like, yes. And then the very next season or the very next patch after that season, boom, it's in the arsenal for steel. Kind of upset me. I was like, dude, I just grinded out almost 2 years to try to get these seasons done, and now you're just giving it to everybody. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. They did not earn it, and I don't feel that they should have it if they did not earn it. But that's my opinion. So
No, I'm right. I'm not buying the missions. Like if people gift it to me, they're on the account now, but I'm definitely not going out of my way. I'm not encouraging people to get them. One of the guys did the math on it, and just looking at the ships, counting premiums and regular ones, if you've got all or damn near all of them, you can get about 10,000 steel.
Yeah, it's
without
10,000.
Just snowflakes in the campaign.
Something like 10,001 steel or 10,099 steel. I don't know. There are 10,018 steel because I think that there was a 2019 or something like that. 2019 campaign or missions that they're going to do. Speaking of missions as well, including in some of these campaigns that are coming out, you're going to get new camos for your Tier 6 camos, which as we saw the last couple of years. Hatziharu and the Nuremberg, the Icarus, the Dallas, and the Normandy are all going to get new permanent camos. And if you guys remember those from years past, those are the blue ones on the New Mexico and the old school. I don't even know what you call it. I don't know. It's blue and it's got a little pointy star on it. I'll have to show it to you guys later on when we get to play. If you're down to play a few games after this.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool, guys. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, we're coming up toward the end of the show. Guys, please type them in. Type them into the chat here, and we will address those accordingly. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns down on the YouTube channel, or just want to come in and hang out with us, guys, you can come over here every night, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time, right here at twitch.tv/sirvenomik. Or if you want to go talk to Khreegor some more, go head over to his channel, twitch.tv/Khreegor. You guys can also hit him up on his Twitter at @the_Khreegor.
We missed a new ship, sir.
What's that?
The Prince Idle Frederic.
Yeah, the Prince Idle. We kind of touched on that. We touched on that before. The Prince Idle Frederick campaign is coming out. You must do some of these missions, do this campaign, so you can unlock this. This is where you're going to also get these camos from. As I believe we got the what did we get the first time? The first time through, we got the Tirpitz camo. The first time we did this and all these other camos, but then there's a mission after you get the Prince Idle to Frederick that you cannot even start it until you have the Prince Idle to Frederick, so you have to get that one first, which will be out this next patch, I believe. Looks like that's what it's saying here in the link. So that'll be interesting. What are your thoughts on this one? I mean, it's looks a little bit longer than the Baron.
So I think, based on feedback, I'm one of the few people who have actually had a ton of fun in this ship. I've been playing it more like a Tier 6 battle cruiser. Show ass, run away, enjoy that high German pen value if you hit decks. And then working with Highfire and TC and I can't remember who else was in the chat. Majash last night. We played around with mine, so I've got it already. And we built it out to secondary specs. So now I'm running a Tier 6 manual secondary because until tomorrow I can use my 19-point Tusk Captain on it. 7.6 kilometer IFHE, which we learned don't IFHE this thing, guys. It makes your HE shells overpen even destroyers. Tier 6 battleship. 7.6 kilometers at Tier 6. It is crazy what this thing will do. It is so much fun.
It sounds like it'll be a fun boat for you guys in the middle to low tiers. I know every once in a while, if we're struggling or if we're having a good time, we just want to take a break and relax a little bit. You know, we'll play 4 or 5 really intense games. Like, oh man, I need to calm down. Let's go play something else. Well, we'll jump down into Tier 6 and I'll play the Dunkirk or something like that. But it's always good to have another boat to play when you're trying to just relax and enjoy and just have a good time.
I'm actually getting ready to give one of them away on Monday.
Which one? The Frederick?
Yep, I'm doing Idle Frederic, and a couple other ships will be given out on Monday.
Absolutely. That's fantastic, man. I hopefully I can come in there and win that thing. I want to win
yeah.
I want to win that thing.
Right now, unless we change it up, I'm doing the Idle Frederic, the Cossack, and the Atlanta. But I may change up the other two.
Cossack is... keep with the Cossack. That is like in my
Oh, it's
opinion,
so
that
good
that
now.
has been it was good before they buffed the turret traverse on it. My God, that is probably, I'd say that one and the Boise Nueve de Julia are probably the best ships that they put out this year. The
Yeah.
Cossack is, that's what, less than a month ago that they put the Cossack out there, maybe a month, 2 months ago, and it's very
Hmm.
quickly taken over my. I've got almost a million experience sitting on that thing already, and just play it over and over and over again. It's
Play it
so,
much, sir?
yeah. And well, I mean, you know how we do it, man. We know how we go.
Terry
But
confirmed.
yeah, it's a
Venom is playing
fantastic
Cossack.
destroyer. Fantastic destroyer. I would actually do that in a ranked season. Play nothing but the Cossack for it. Oh man, what a lovely thing. So there you go, boys. That's all we got, guys. If you got any more questions, comments, or concerns, please throw them into the chat. We got a little bit of Q&A session here. If did we miss anything? Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to talk about before we move into the Q&A section, man?
No, I already told these guys how to win a bunch of free stuff over the weekend when you had to take that quick break for the big Santa shindig going on all weekend.
There you go.
And then Monday I let them know, I'm giving away the 3 ships and those Santa codes for folks.
There you go. Cossack is in the premium shop. It's free if you get it from Khreegor's channel. There you go. That's how much it's going to cost you. 40 guineas or 50 guineas is what it was. Now, guys, that's something that you don't have much time to get guineas anymore unless they're already gone. But get it now, because if you have 40, buy the rest of them, because that boat is fantastic and worth every penny. Luckily, one of the bros from the chat donated me a Cossack, and I started playing and doing these missions with the Cossack, and I ended up getting enough guineas to buy the Cossack out of the arsenal and got like 9,000 doubloons. So it was definitely worth it to me to spend that extra, $5 or $50, $50, or not. It's not even $50 to get it, but I ended up spending, I think it was like $15 or something like
Yeah, I
that
think
to
you
get
can
it.
do like a buck a guinea. So I got all the guineas you can get from the mission, so I'd have to spend $9 if I wanted to buy it a second time for
Right.
myself right now.
There was a
But they
there was
go
a
away tomorrow, I think. Guineas are gone, and they're converting them to credits. If I remember, tomorrow's the patch for it.
Yeah. So if you guys are on YouTube and you didn't get it this and you still have those guineas, you probably, by the time you see this video, it's already going to be over, as the patch is tomorrow. So there you go. All right, boys, moving on into the Q&A section here with my man Khreegor. You guys can hit him up at _Khreegor over on Twitter. Head over to his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Khreegor. Number one, hey, thanks for coming onto the podcast. I know we set this up a while ago, and I'm glad that we were actually able to put it down and make it happen. So, first question I got, well, before I do this, was there any questions that you caught out of the chat that you wanted to address first?
We hit some. I think we hit most of the points on it. Somebody had asked me earlier about Italian battleships. I did my best to answer. I haven't seen anything. But then again, I mean, devs work on it behind the scenes. Super testers get them. As soon as I see it, is when it can go out there for you guys to see. So honestly, guys, if you want to know if a new line's coming out or what boats are currently in testing that we can talk about, tune into any of our channels, tune into any of our YouTube channels for the CCs. Because as soon as we have them and they say go, people already have videos ready to drop. We've already got them kitted out and ready to go on stream as soon as we fire it up. So that's honestly the fastest you'll ever find out about them. Or when somebody data mines them, like they did the British aircraft carriers 2 months ago, and they went, yep, those are there.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so Thud TV says, I just got the Ashitaka. What is special with that? Just another floating Citadel Japanese battleship. The Ashitaka is a very powerful guns, has very good guns, but a very weak armor. So it's like an a-hole. It's an a-hole Amagi, meaning that you're not going to have the big armor in the butt like the Amagi does. So it does not tank very well. Other than that, I have knocked the ever-living crap out of cruisers and other battleships with this thing. Citadeling from 18 plus. Fantastic boat. Do I recommend people buying this? At tier 7, doesn't really matter because all the battleships are a little bit underpowered, I think, for tier 7. But overall, it's a pretty good solid starter boat for people at tier 7, man.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's any pre-tier, I'd say any pre-tier 8 Japanese battleship. If you show any bit of flat on your broadside, you get citadeled or cracked so easy. The Japanese, honestly, in my opinion, if you want to learn how to properly angle in battleships, Japanese are 100% the battleship that is going to teach you what is just enough butt to show to get your guns around and what is way too much. And her guns are solid.
Very solid. Next patch. Not the next question is: are we getting a free XP only ship in the next patch? I didn't hear nothing about it, so I'm going to assume no. Usually,
Not that I know of.
Yeah, usually if they did, this guy would know. I don't know, as I'm not privy to what they're doing with that. I know the Alaska. Before anybody asks about the Alaska, no, it's not coming out. It will come out when it comes out. We don't know. He doesn't know, so we're not even going to talk about it. If it does, just be sure to have 750,000 free XP ready, just in case, because nobody's saying it. Nobody's saying that that's what it's going to be, but just in case that it is, have a lot of free XP saved up. Or you're going to have to buy it for coal. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That thing gets brought up so much. And my answer is always, you don't want it out in its current condition. Period. You don't want it out right now. You will feel like you're in a Helena that got up-tiered into a 9-10 match. And you're going to wonder, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
and then other games, you're going to feel like you're a Des Moines in a Tier 5 match. Like, it is so all over the board and so not ready. Guys, don't push them to put that thing out earlier than it should be, or it'll be nothing but disappointment.
It'll be the Graf Zeppelin all over again.
Exactly.
It'll be the Graf Zeppelin all over again. I'm still seeing Graf Zeppelins out there. We saw one last night. And that boat is just so... It's either overpowered, or it's feast or famine with that boat. It's either overpowered or it just gets pooped on all the time.
Last time I played with or against the Graf Zeppelin, it was myself, Sea Raptor, and Lord Zath. And Lord Zath said, want to do something funny? I went, sure. And he locked in the Graf Zeppelin. I'm like, that's not funny. That's just mean. And then he did bad things. He's like, hey, check it out. That BB's right at the edge of AA. Boop. I was like, oh, Lord, these poor people.
Oh, man, that's funny. Your SAT score says Hatsuharu is good, albeit somewhat team reliant. Talking about the rank tier 6 sprint. Agreed. The thing about the Hatsuharu that differs from any of the other ones, I believe the Hatsu has the lowest 5.8 kilometer detection of any destroyer. I'm not quite sure what the Icarus is at tier 6.
I think she still holds it. Let me check the Icarus real quick.
But anyway, that's what, and during the first tier 6 rank season that I played, that's the one that I did that was out spotting everybody, so we could put the damage on the enemy destroyers first. Because once you got rid of the DDs first, then everything just kind of fell into place there.
Well, and you think about it, it's ranked sprints, so you should hopefully, in theory, be able to count on your team somewhat. Yeah, she's still smaller. Icarus, Camo Concealment Expert, is a 6.0.
All right, yeah, okay, so there you go. So Hatsuharu 5.8, that's going to be the big advantage there. Also, we have... all right, Viking, thank you. Floofy the Sniper Ducko says Molotov, I'd say, is a possible one for Tier 6 ranked. Molotov with its...
Think about the Molotov.
Molotov has 180 millimeter guns, which are the Donskoy guns at Tier 9 that are on Tier 6 boat. Fantastic pen damage with the AP. Low-ish damage, 4,000 or so on a Citadel for one shell hit, which is relatively small, but that's okay because it equals what a Tier 9 does. HE fire chance is through the roof. Pretty solid there. It's got a spotter plane that you can get it out even further. The only downside to this one is if you get touched from any angle, just like in Omaha, you're going to get exploded. You're going to get citadeled. So you'd want something that would be able to tank a little bit more. Although most of the cruisers at Tier 6 are like that anyway. So, I mean, it's right in line with everything else.
Yeah, Pensacola, I mean, the Pepsi can.
Cola. I always call
the
it
Leander.
The Cola, yeah.
You know what we didn't think about? The DeGrasse.
The DeGrasse is going to be a night. Yo, wait. Even further behind that Italian bird, that Italian job there at Tier 6.
Yeah,
holy crap!
Duca d'Usta.
Yeah, A lot of
Yeah,
people
we
think
didn't
this
think
thing
about
is terrible, and it's only got 14-kilometer range. I don't know how good it would be in that rank situation with only 14-kilometer range, but there is something to be said about those slow-ass torpedoes that go 12 knots. I've seen people dev-struck these things. Duca's guns on DDs with its HE is devastating. I mean, it hits like a truck. And
Well, yeah, they're 152s firing at 7.5, and it's 8 guns every 7.5 seconds tearing at that poor innocent DD. 2,100 HE damage shells. Those DDs don't got the health to survive that very long.
No, even with a survivability expert.
Yeah.
There's also, going back to the Degrassi, Degrassi is always a good choice anywhere around the board in any situation. It's a good, solid boat. You're going to set max range with that. Unfortunately, it did not get the or the speed reloader at that tier 6, but that just means that the glass is going to be even stronger because those guns are great. And everybody knows the French AP on the cruisers is just stupid good all over the map. So that's those are some more good choices there. All right, so Grant Y says, as just a player who has been playing for 3 years, I think Wargaming has started listening to more what the CCs have to say and the community. They may not always act or appear to act, but they do seem to be listening a lot better than they were 2 to 3 years ago. I agree.
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, and Volker could probably correct me on it, I believe the whole CC program was the brainchild of Nico, Super Nico Power, when he was there. So that wasn't even something they didn't even look at putting, bringing somebody from the community to kind of act as a buffer and put the feelers out for him. Nico started it, and it's grown, and it definitely evolved after the summit, and then Fem and them took over, and they got more support. Yeah, it is. In the last year, that thing has taken just a huge whirlwind turn for sure.
It's definitely gone the right direction. If you guys don't know who Super Nico Power was, he was the inventor of the Corgi fleets and the offshoots of the pirate event that we did, or the Tucker shoot that we did. That all originated from Super Nico Power. A brilliant guy. Got a chance to meet him at TwitchCon for the first time, and you guys probably met him in Anaheim. If he didn't get to make it, all right.
They were finally getting to take their honeymoon.
Yeah, so. That's good for them. Unfortunately, Super Nico Power, when Wargaming made the move down to Austin, Texas, he had to leave the company for personal reasons. And so anyway, Super Nico Power, fantastic guy. Always loved him. Always had a lot of respect for that guy as actually somebody who really just did a lot for the game. So if you guys ever see Super Nico Power hanging out at anybody's stream, be sure to tell him hi and tell him thank you for what he did for the game, because a lot of the stuff that we have now wouldn't have been possible without him. So
I've only seen one other company get this engaged, and that was early, like pre-expansion vanilla EverQuest. Most folks didn't realize all the guides and GMs in that game were 100% community handling all those situations for you.
There you go. KVET says, yes, if I ever come into a stream channel and I hear silence, I'm out of there relatively quickly. Yeah, that's sort of going back to your biggest tip was always be talking. I know sometimes that always be talking is not necessarily what you can do as a streamer, because sometimes you're really intense and you kind of let the chat go so you can focus on a situation or whatever. But definitely refer to that chat over and over again if you can. And if you don't have too many people that are talking into your chat, make up a fucking story. Who cares? I mean, I remember my very first couple of streams 4 years ago, 4.5, almost 5 years ago now, I didn't have anybody in my channel, but I just made up a story, and it was like, and then somebody came in, and I remember popping off, and that's how I stopped World War III. And they were like, "Wait, what? How did you stop World War III?" So I had another 20 minutes of content. So should just continue to talk, man. Make up a story. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Be like, nah, that's just a joke. Whatever. So always be talking there. Volgar the Viking says, if you like those, you will like the Tier 8 Lenin Russian battleship, then Sirvenom. I'm assuming he means it's a front gun turret.
Oh, yeah, because you were talking about you like... I
like the Izmo and the Nelson.
Style, the Izmo, yeah. Get your nose in there.
It's not
the zombie-built battleship.
It's not necessarily bow-in style. It's like an off bow. Like the Dunkirk, if you sit bow in, you're going to get pooped on. But you have to open up just a little bit or close down a little bit just so you can get those auto bounce angles. And I find that that's a little bit more skillful play than just sitting broadside or sitting at max range. I find it more skillful to hit that point where you take a shot from somebody and it just goes tink, and it's so much fun to do that. So yeah, if that's what it is, I will definitely give it a big old shot because I love the Richelieu at tier 8 as well. What is your favorite color from Twidget Gray, Khreegor?
I'm a blue or teal person.
I've been red my whole life, but over the past year and a half, it's slowly drifted into the purple. I don't know why. It just has been.
Because you're Twitch royalty, sir.
Royalty. Man, I am a nobody, but I am perfect because I'm a nobody. Nobody is perfect, so by all means, hey, quid pro quo, I am perfect. So there you go. What is the average speed velocity of an unladen swallow? I have an answer for this. It is 24 miles an hour or 11 meters per second. There you go. There's your answer, Twitchet Gray.
I was going to say about a half second slower than that shotgun shell.
The King 898 says European. You are keeping the high velocity for the battleships too. He's talking about the battleships, the British battleships or the Russian battleships having the laser guns that the cruisers do. I would like to see it. I know when people go from the Colorado into the North Carolina, they struggle with the shells for a few games. When they figure out that it's only literally 1 to 2 ticks on that bar, depending on which crosshair you're using. I would like to see these come out really quick. And I would like to see a really nice, quick, powerful battleship shell. None of this loopy crap. I understand 18 kilometers or whatever that you're shooting. It's going to be loopy, no matter how strong it is.
Yeah, we don't need any more mountain jumpers. I don't need another Yamato or a Montana that, is going to fire over friggin' Mount Everest that's only 3 kilometers away from it. I really hope the Russian battleships are just a really big, pissed-off version of the Moskva. That was my very first tier 10 was the Moskva.
Yeah.
And I would love to see the big pissed off version of it. You think the Moskva hurts? Wait till his big brother Kremlin gets here.
That would be great. Floofy Sniper Ducko says, Sirvenom, did you notice that Charleston is going to everybody as well? No, I did not notice that. Do you have any information on that you can share?
So I got mine out of the current daily progress ones is where I got it on the EU account. So I'm wondering if that might be what he's talking about. Is all I did was log in for 3 days and it went, hey, here's your Charleston. I was like, cool.
If that's something, then I'll probably eventually get it. But would I spend coal on it? Would you spend 15K coal on it? I wouldn't either. I mean, I've already got the St. Louis with all that Halloween camo. So I'm just gonna use that anyway at tier 3 if I'm gonna do it. Volgar the Viking says, I look at it like this. If you've got the steel boats like the Stalingrad or Flint from black or ranked battles, congrats, you got them a lot earlier than everybody else has, and then you don't have to do the longer campaigns. Obviously he's talking about the steel reward chips. The only one that I'm really interested in getting now is the new French tier 10 Bourguignoni. I don't really care about the Stalingrad too much. I'd like to get it. I've been watching General Dort play this thing over the past couple of days, and my God, that thing is dirty. I've been watching some of these things, and I know the Alsace only having 15-inch guns I've been getting some really weird pins on that boat. So I'm hoping that it keeps those pen values and just.
I cannot wrap my head around the baloney. I've seen people do amazing in it. Sea Raptor and Zath can smash people in that boat. Mm-hmm. And then I've seen other ones get into it and we're like, I'm just getting my face ripped off. I'm angled properly. I'm doing everything else.
Well, that's one thing.
That Richelieu just destroyed me.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's one thing that I've noticed about the French battleships is they're not bullies. They're
No.
not bullies by any means. They are the John Bart. If you try to play the John Bart like you would play an Iowa or a Missouri, you're going to get smashed. So you have to be mobile. You cannot sit still. You cannot sit bow in these boats, and you have to continue to move. And if you can do that, then you can outflank the enemy. They are great flanks. The Republic is a great flank ship in Clan Wars, also in rank season, the last two tier 10 rank seasons. They were absolutely fantastic flanking ships, going out there with a Zhao or going out there with a DD or something like that to kind of help spot. Just absolutely dominated one side by itself. So maybe people think about that when they look into playing this boat as well.
Yeah, I describe the French battleships. I always joke that the Italians that we have, the premiums, are like the Ferrari battleships. They're fast and nimble. And the French battleships are very much a Bugatti battleship. It's aerodynamic, it's light, it's fast as crap. Don't stick your nose in at 10 kilometers with another battleship unless it's another French one and expect not to get your face ripped off. Use your speed, use your maneuverability, use that sleek Bugatti racing style to zip all over the map and apply pressure where you can. They're not brawlers at all.
What do you think of the speaking of the Ferraris, man? How strong is that Julius Caesar there at 5, man? If we want to talk, well, I didn't even talk about how strong the guns are, but how maneuverable is that boat? I've dropped torpedoes on this guy from 3 and 4 kilometers and maybe even 5 kilometers, and he turns out of them. I'm just like, oh my goodness, this thing is the boat is just ridiculous. So that goes along with the the mobileness of the Italian battleships. My dog is stuck in the bathroom, so if y'all are hearing barking, that's what's happening right now, and I'm texted my son to come get him out of the bathroom. It's kind of funny. Volgar the Viking says, I have 165 ships right now. It's going to take a bit to remove all of the snowflakes from them. There is quite a length of time on these snowflake missions, if I'm remember right. I don't remember exactly the amount of time, but you should have enough time if especially if Volgar's going to start streaming soon again. I hope, because he's always a good watch.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get it in no time. Just go start at 10 and work your way down, like everybody else is going to do. I know I'm going to do that.
So you asked us, so I pulled it up here real quick. Do you have a comparison of folks? The Texas is 20.5 knots max speed, 14-second rudder shift time, 600-meter turn.
Relatively quick.
The Julio Cesar, 27-knot max speed, 13-second rudder shift with a 640-meter turn. So she actually, while being a lot faster, has a bigger turning radius than the other one. But that speed, she speeds up, she accelerates and drops speed fast enough, she can hard counter her own turn radius. But she is the fastest Tier 5 battleship. I think October is the only one close to her here at 24.2. And those 3 knots, when you're used to it, Tier 5, shooting your Texas, your Wyoming, or no, not Wyoming, it's the New Yorks. You're compensating for that. Those 27 knots will mess with you all day long. And that 1-second rudder shift time, that's all it takes to get that thing hard flanking. That's the one I originally referenced. I'm like, God, this thing's like, I can't figure it out. And somebody in my chat said, it's like you're in a giant sports car. I'm like, yeah, it's like a Ferrari of battleships.
Yeah, it's really
that's
good.
where I just got stuck using that reference for people so they'd get it. I'm like, no, she's the Ferrari. If they expand this line, you get some nimbly-bimbly battleships that are, Tokyo drifting down 2 brothers back and forth having fun.
That's what they do, man. It's a good boat. Highly recommended if anybody's not picked it up yet. As soon as it comes back into the ports, comes back into the sale. I'm not sure if it's on sale right now or not, but go pick it up. It'll be great. Guys, if y'all have any more questions, please, now's the time to put it in there as we're coming to our last couple of questions here. Feel free to go ahead and put those into the chat now. And if you guys over on YouTube have any questions, comments, or concerns that we can address, I will address those as soon as I can. My man Khreegor, you guys can hit him up over at twitch.tv/Khreegor or at @_Khreegor over on Twitter. So there you go. All right, so we have our last question here so far, unless something comes in before right now. Can we sell the Tech Tree CVs for free XP with a new CV rework patch?
No. So, my understanding, well,
You're
I
gonna get
believe
an
you can sell
option.
them once it comes in. Sub actually addressed this, guys, and he gave you guys the full rundown and transition. I was really busy helping get the ready for the tournament, the actual player tournament that got to
I
go on.
actually, I remember this. He said
Yeah.
you will be able to sell all of these boats for free XP, right? But if you sell the tier 7 one, you have to sell 10, 9, and 8 before you can sell the 7 one.
Yeah, you have to start at the top and go down. And I believe the ones they're removing, because I only count in bits pieces, so I definitely encourage you to go back and listen to his conversation because he breaks it down so well.
There was a really good video.
Yeah, is the in between tiers, the odd numbers that are going away. They're giving you the free XP for those. Just here you go. You don't have to go sell it because your boat's a moot point. Everything's going to get demounted for you for free. Your captains are going to get thrown into reserve for you. Here you go.
Right. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question as well. The Caesar will not be sold again. It was pulled from sales like the Kudasov and Belfast. It can only be gained. It can only be gained from the super containers or Santa boxes now. Thank you for that.
There you go.
So there you go. So if you didn't get it, man, you guys should hope and pray that you do get it. If you have it right now, the Santa crates are going to be here for just a little bit longer. So go buy us a bunch of Santa crates and try to get those boats that you don't particularly have. Speaking of Santa crates, what do you think about these Santa crates this year? Did you get anything good out of them?
I got my Kronstadt.
Nice.
I was stoked for that one. I've got almost all the premiums. Still bummed. The one I still have not managed to get my hands on that I was really hoping to pull out of crates. My two were Kronstadt, and I was really hoping to get the Kid. I still do not have the USS Kid.
Kid's a great tier 8 boat as well. It's another gunboat.
Yeah, that is one that I was really hoping for.
That's an AA monster boat too.
Yeah. And I
boat.
love burning planes from the sky. Other than lighting battleships on fire. Sorry, Vulgar. Deal with it. I love burning planes from the sky. So, funny thing on that one, you'll get a kick out of. For the, as they call it, celebrity tournament, so CC versus CC at Anchors Away. I guess they were trying to figure out what to do, what to worry about, and I don't remember if he says Majash or Zash said, I don't know what to expect from Khreegor. Vulgar goes, oh, he's a cruiser monkey. He's going to light everything on fire and laugh at us the entire time. That is 100%. He's not a wild card. He's going to make it burn.
He's going to make it burn. There you go. I ended up finishing out my entire collection. I have every boat on that list now. We were gifted the Prince Eugene. We got gifted that one. I ended up buying the Kronstadt, and I ended up getting 5 other boats that I had. I got the Grimmy, I got the Krasny Krim, the
Oh God, I got a freaking Krasny Krim.
the Laterable. I got that one, and then I got some boats that I already had.
Think about that thing.
The Laterable.
Yes.
It's not bad. I've only played it a few games, so I am liking the direction that I've been taking it. And I'm not that I'm the end all be all here, but I'm enjoying the way that I'm playing the boat. I still have yet to really. It's not as good. It plays like the Kebab, right? It plays like a Khabarovsk. It plays like a trash can. It plays like a Kiev. Max range, just pew pew the whole time. You can push in on some things, but the gun traverse is utterly slow if you're trying to get up close. So you got to stay at range, and the guns are a little slow. They're a little loopy as well. With no smoke, you got to stay on the move. So you shouldn't have any risk of running into torpedoes. You just don't take it into the cap. Play it like a German DD. Take it out of the cap and play around the cap until you know where things are, and then you can readjust yourself. I've enjoyed it. Max range, pew pew the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not a DD main by any stretch of the imagination. I get overly aggressive. I try and push in, which is more my issue's been with that boat. I have seen some funny things where it's outran French shells coming at it.
Yeah,
which was
the
funny
thing
to watch.
goes 53 knots, man. That's literally the fastest boat in the game at the moment, and it goes, man. I remember I was on one side of the map on estuary, with just a few minutes left in the game, and I made it all the way from one side of the map to the other within that time frame just to help finish off the last kill. And I didn't get the kill, but I helped finish. I was trying to steal it. But
You weren't stealing. You're helping secure victory for the team. It's teamwork, sir.
No, I was trying to steal the hell out of it. This guy was being a douchebag in the chat the whole time, and I'm like, I'm coming over there to steal your kill, and I almost got it. I had fired one shot, set him on fire, and then the other guy got a shot off and actually killed him before my fire burned out. So, but there's also one more thing that I wanted to address in this next patch. There has been a bug out there to where you would fire your guns and you have your target locked on, and it does not register that you're locked on your target. So you can have 4 shots at this guy, and 3 of them will be just fine, and then the 4th one, for some reason, registers if you're not locked onto this guy. This is a known bug, and they are addressing that in this patch. Fixed a rare bug which disabled the bonus to shell dispersion when guns were locked onto a target. So they did know about it. They had known about it for a while, and now they are addressing it. That's one of those things that you guys can see. In the patch notes.
Submitted clips a few weeks back on that one. Every salvo from my Missouri had that bug affecting it. So my front turrets were literally crisscrossing my rear turrets, going in opposite directions. Everyone's like, no, it's just a normal dispersion. I'm like, no, it's not. So I got a clip and I sent it in. I'm like, that is not normal dispersion. And they're like, oh my.
We have been in direct contact with some of the people over in Russia, some of the developers, and saying, no, that should not happen. That is a bug, and we know about it, and we are working on trying to fix that bug. So it was a bug, and they are fixing it. So hopefully tomorrow it'll be fixed to where if I'm actually locked onto this guy, I don't have to double X anymore. I know the solving of this problem currently is to double X on somebody that goes dark, and then you come back up and you're still locked on. A lot of the times it would not register as you being locked onto this target, so you would double X to unlock and then relock the target to get your dispersion better. So that's it. That's a beautiful upgrade, a beautiful change to a fix that will help out everybody, not just me, but battleships and cruisers and destroyers alike. So look forward to that tomorrow. Well, Khreegor, that's it. We ain't got no more questions, man.
We're that done. Good.
There you go, guys. Khreegor, tell
education.
There you go. Tell them what you got coming up over the next couple of weeks, man.
So this weekend, guys, it kicks off Friday at 11 a.m. with TC Freer. We're doing the Bob's Ho 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 Christmas Extravaganza Marathon, where we're just gonna every 2 hours we're rating the next guy. Everybody's got something to give away. There's literally 2 to 3 giveaways, I think, in every 2-hour block. It's running, I think, most of the weekend, if not the entire weekend. You can catch me. My block starts at 12:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. Monday night, I'm going to try and get started as early as I can. We're going to be doing the Very Merry Viking Christmas Eve. I'm going to be doing the Prince Adolf Frederick. Sounds like we got a bunch of thumbs up on yes, make sure the Cossack's one of the boats I'm going to do the giveaway
Absolutely.
for.
Fantastic.
Which means I just have to decide what the cruiser, because I want to do one from each tier. And then I'm going to have 5 Christmas crate codes. Each code will actually get you 2 of the Santa crates. Forgive me, guys, I can't remember off the top of my head if it's the large or the extra large, the big or the elite, whatever they're calling it this year, for it. So that'll be goodies for you guys. January, we haven't set the date. We've got our getting into battleship shape, shooting the ships panel with Static the Warmonger and Cammy Samurai, 2 of some of the best battleship players I know that are really good about breaking it down and making it educational and not boring for folks. Other than that, man, just tons of giveaways every night. When we hit our sub goals, we're giving away the CC camo codes, the CC crates. I got a couple Black Friday crate codes I'm still giving away. If anybody hasn't gotten their hands on those, we're doing those for our current donation goal we're shooting on to upgrade audio so the stream doesn't sound like poop anymore.
Yeah, you sound fine.
That's because I've got all the doors closed around me.
No,
normally you'll hear the dog sneeze upstairs across the house. Yeti's a great microphone, but it picks up
everything.
Everything. Yeah.
If I had it to do over again, I'd have got a different microphone. I like the microphone. It's done me well, but I would much rather have a different microphone. Guys, I started up a raffle right now. Vogel the Viking said he had a couple of crates to give away. It is a free raffle. If you guys want to get into that, we'll roll it after this a little bit after the podcast is over. So if you guys want to hang out, me and my man Khreegor, we're going to play a few games. If you're down, and anybody else that wants to jump in, I'm sure you're going to fire up your show as well. So we'll do a double raffle. So if you guys want to get into that giveaway, type in !FREE because it is free and we want to do it just like that. So far we have 11 people in there, so type in free. So Khreegor, I just want to say thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. I had a blast. Feel free to let me know if you want to come back at any point in time.
Dude, anytime. If I'm not busy with any other schedule, count me in. If you need a last minute cruiser fill in, give me a shout out. I can always rearrange things as long as I got at least a day or so notice for you, man.
Yeah, no worries. I usually like to get people started 2 weeks out, just so they have time to prepare and set the schedule, just in case something changes. Then we can adjust from that. So either way, guys, please go over to twitch.tv/Khreegor. Go follow his channel. Somebody wants to link his channel for me here, with you guys here. And again, like I said, YouTube guys will be linking that description in below. I am sirvenomik, the Dean of Averageness, and this has been Across Your Bow, episode 13. It's in the books, bros. It's in the books. Thank you guys very much for watching. We will come down for just 2 seconds so I can get a nice little cut on the time, and then I'm going to run to the bathroom, and then we will fire it up for the normal show. So we'll start up some music here in just a second. Thank you guys very much. Merry Christmas. This is the last episode for this year, as Christmas is on the way. And we will not be back until January. I do have some things. Do have some people have agreed to come in January, February. Thank you, Floopy, for linking that for him. So look forward to it. Look forward to it in the future. So thank you guys very much. Episode 13 is done. Khreegor, got anything else for him?
No, man. That's everything we got planned. I mean, we got a birthday stream next month, but
there you go.
Now I'm ready to shoot some ships, man.
Let's go blow some shit up, huh? All right, guys, That's it. We love you. We'll see y'all next time, boys. And there's my marker, and we are good.